Chapter 1761. You should go back. The Bathing Flame Phoenix clan is no longer my home. Huafu shook her head firmly. She knew that nothing good would happen if she went back. You don't want to go back? Is Huaxian also here? Huafeng caught the meaning of Huafu's words. He glanced at the village and asked, I want to ask you, where did you take my father? Huafu was furious. She pointed at Huafeng's nose and asked loudly, Ahem, this has nothing to do with me. Huafeng didn't dare to push her too hard. If this girl turned around and flew away, he wouldn't be able to catch up with her. You two come back with us. Otherwise, these villagers will leave the immortal world for you. As soon as Huafeng finished speaking, Jiangchen walked to Huafu's side and patted her back gently. Let's go. I haven't been to the Bathing Flame Phoenix clan yet. I want to go in and have a look and broaden my horizons. Brother Jiangchun is sensible. When we get back to the clan, I will treat you to wine and meat. Huafeng looked at Jiangchun with satisfaction and nodded. With Jiangchun around, Huafu wasn't so worried. The two followed Huafeng. Under the urging of many armored guards, they walked out of the village. Seeing Jiangchun and Huafu being taken away, Huaquan evacuated the villagers at the entrance of the village and hurriedly walked to the back of the village. He entered a dilapidated house and opened a tunnel in the smallest room. Have they left? Lin Baichao poked his head out and asked. They have left, but Huafu and young master followed them back to the clan to protect the villagers here. I am worried that they might encounter danger. Huaquan had some connections. His cultivation base was only around the immortal venerable realm. Although he was fast, his strength was too weak. He couldn't go to the clan and rescue the two of them. Don't worry, young master won't be killed so easily. Lin Baichao looked flustered, but he knew that if he panicked, it would be a complete mess. Then what should we do? Huaquan jumped into the tunnel. The narrow secret room wasn't humid. There was only enough space to fit a bed. It was a little crowded for the two of them to stand inside. It was difficult to even turn around. This was the place where Huaquan hid his profound flame. What kind of experts are there in the Inferno Phoenix race? Lin Baichao asked in a deep voice. Hui Yuanba, the one who took away the position of the Fire Xian clan's patriarch. His cultivation is in the second layer of the Immortal King realm, Huaquan said without hesitation. With this level of cultivation, young master is no match for him. Lin Baichao's hands trembled slightly. His strength was only at the half-step Immortal King realm, and he could fight evenly with a first or second layer Immortal King realm expert. Although he might not be able to win against a second layer Immortal King realm expert, he could still save Jiangchun if he risked his life. As for himself, even if he were to die in the Phoenix clan's flames, so what? That's right. If the clan leader could wake up, this wouldn't have happened. Huaquan shook his head and sighed. Don't worry, leave it to me. Lin Baichao exhaled a mouthful of turbid air, and a wisp of divine sense floated out of his Baihui acupoint, penetrated the wooden house, and rushed towards the place where the Phoenix clan was located. This immortal technique was personally passed down by the Immortal Emperor when he was in the Tianji sect. It allowed him to reach any place within a radius of 1,000 miles and perceive the nearby situation. Not to mention that Hui Yuanba was only in the second layer of the Immortal King realm. Even the three Immortal Kings might not be able to detect it. With this holy awareness, he could discern clearly whether Jiangchun was safe or in danger. Once he sensed that something was amiss, he would take action immediately and rush into the fire-bathing Phoenix clan to protect Jiangchun. Inside the flame barrier, under the lead of Huafeng, Jiangchun and Huafu walked in side by side. Be careful. There are a total of 7 tribes in the Phoenix clan. I don't know who is still loyal to my father, Huafu reminded softly as she scanned the current situation in the clan. That hall, is it where you lived before? Jiangchun looked at the majestic building not far in front of him. That's right. Near this hall is our first tribe. Unfortunately, it has all fallen into the hands of Hui Yuanba. Huafu raised her head and looked at the scene in front of her. Don't worry, we will get it back sooner or later. Jiangchun smiled faintly. I hope so. Huafu exhaled a breath of fragrance. Jiangchun and Hui Yuanba were taken to the main hall directly. They saw Hui Yuanba walking out quickly with several people. However, Jiang Chun was struck dumb by the person next to him. His entire person became sluggish. Sensing Jiang Chun's abnormality, Huafu instantly felt the sense of security from him disappear without a trace. Hey, Hui Yuanba is only in the second level of the Immortal King realm. You didn't even cower when facing Immortal King Xianjun and the sect leader of the Black Sect. Why are you so scared today? Huafu thought that Jiang Chun was frightened by Hui Yuanba's Immortal King aura. She quickly reached out and tugged at his sleeve and said softly with a complicated expression, "Virtuous." Jiang Chun screamed in his heart. The person beside Hui Yuanba was none other than Mu Yude, whom he had been searching for so long. However, when Mu Yude saw Jiang Chun, he didn't even blink. It was as if he had seen a stranger. Jiang Chun felt that something was wrong. He immediately understood that this was the Phoenix clan. With Mu Yude's personality, he was probably doing the same thing as him. Now that the two of them were facing each other, it was naturally impossible for Mu Yude to recognize him. However, this kid didn't even have any emotions when he saw him. Wasn't this a little too fake? Jiang Chun blinked his eyes tentatively. Kid, is there something wrong with your eyesight? Hui Yuanba stared at Jiang Chun for a while, then said with some disdain, I really don't know why Huafu has a friend like you. I'm a little better than you. My eyesight is bad, but you don't have any eyes. Jiang Chun didn't hesitate. He didn't take this second stage Immortal King seriously at all. If he wanted to leave, he could take Huafu away in an instant. I think you're courting death. This sentence completely enraged Hui Yuanba. Being left with only one, I had always been his pain. 10,000 years ago, he had received an order from Hui Xian to fight with the leader of the Green Python Heavenly Serpent, the archenemy of the Phoenix clan. He had accidentally fallen into a trap and had to sacrifice one of his eyes to escape. It was also from then on that he had the intention to rebel. He knew that the other party had set him up, but he still sent him. He hated Hui Xian to the core. He raised his hand to slap Jiang Chun, but when he realized that Huafu was still in front of him, he retracted his hand. If he killed Jiang Chun, it wouldn't be so easy to obtain the pure bloodline power. Chapter 1762. Hui Yuanba swallowed his hatred and said with a smile, Little brother, you really like to joke around. I admire funny people. However, Jiang Chun was not interested in him at all. Instead, he kept looking at Mu Yude. This brat, there's no end to his act. Even if he can't recognize me, at least give me a look. However, no matter how much Jiang Chun teased him, Mu Yude did not react at all. There's someone who looks so similar to him in the immortal realm? This time, even Jiang Chun began to doubt himself. This did not seem like Mu Yude's personality at all. Little brother, I think it's not just your eyesight that's bad. There's something wrong with your ears as well. Hui Yuanba was even more dissatisfied with Jiang Chun ignoring him. In the entire southern region, whether it was immortal monarchs or immortal kings, they all had to give him some face. How dare this guy, immortal, put on airs in front of him? However, in order to obtain the power of the bloodline, Hui Yuanba could endure it. And you're right, Jiang Chun directly used the same words on Mu Yude. Elder Yuanba, I want to ask where my father is. Huafeng said that he's no longer in charge of the clan. Huafu did not know why Jiang Chun was acting so strangely, but she could not care less. He followed Huafeng in to protect the villagers. Secondly, he wanted to find out what was going on. Cough, cough, Feng is right. Your father is no longer the clan leader. 100 years ago, he suddenly went out once and never appeared again. I've been sending people to investigate his whereabouts. However, the clan can't go without a clan leader, so I can only temporarily replace him. Hui Yuanba coughed and explained. Oh, is that so? Huafu asked with a cold smile. Of course. Your father and I call each other brothers. I usually treat you like my own daughter. Why would I lie to you? Hui Yuanba showed a very wronged expression. Then why did Huafeng say that she wanted Elder Huaquan to hand over my father? Huafu stared at him and did not give him a way out. Then you must have heard wrong. Huafeng should be asking Elder Huaquan to help find your father. Hearing this, Hui Yuanba raised his head and looked at Huafeng, who was standing not too far away. He glared at Huafeng before he smiled again and said, "You don't know how worried I was after the patriarch went missing. Is that so?" Hui Yuanba's fake expression made Huafu feel disgusted. "Of course. Niece Huafu, you've just returned. Why don't you go back to your room and rest? I've sent people to clean your room every day. It's very clean." Hui Yuanba didn't dare to continue speaking as he was afraid that he would be exposed. He quickly changed his tone. "Jiangchen, come with me." Huafu didn't speak any nonsense. She pulled Jiangchen's arm and walked towards the main hall. She wanted to ask why Jiangchen was suddenly scared. "Should I arrange a guest room for this brother?" Hui Yuanba asked. Fire Lotus did not answer him. When Huafu and Jiangchen entered the main hall, Hui Yuanba's face instantly fell. Huafeng, who was not too far away, saw this and immediately felt a cold breeze. He slowly walked over. "You piece of trash. Why do you always do such stupid things?" Hui Yuanba did not hesitate and directly slapped him. This slap made him spin twice on the spot before he fell to the ground with a plop. "Mu Daoud, go and watch the two of them. It's best if you can listen to what they're saying." After venting his anger, Hui Yuanba said to the young man beside him. However, after he finished speaking, he waved his hand and said, "Forget it. Since they're already inside the spirit barrier, it's not up to them anymore." Inside the room, Huafu closed all the doors and windows and sat on the bed angrily. "Sister Huafu, what's wrong with you?" Jiang Chun didn't know what was going on. He was still thinking about Mu Yud. "I noticed that something was wrong with you ever since you entered the spirit barrier. When you faced immortal King Xianjun, you mocked him. When you faced the sect leader of the Black Sect, you even dared to fight him head-on. Why are you so scared after meeting a second-stage immortal king?" Huafu asked with her hands on her hips. "You don't know whether I'm scared or not." Jiang Chen shrugged innocently. "What are you talking about?" Huafu was not a little girl. Naturally, she understood the meaning behind Jiang Chen's words. "Let me tell you something serious. The one beside Hui Yuanba is my friend from the lower realm. Since I ascended to the immortal realm, I haven't seen him again. I just gave him a look, but this bastard ignored me." Jiang Chen chuckled, sitting next to Huafu, and explained, "Really?" Huafu blinked. "Of course it's true. I just didn't expect him to enter your Blazing Phoenix clan. It seems that our operation this time should be successful. With him as a spy, we will soon be able to take back the position of Patriarch." And patting his chest, Jiang Chun made a solemn vow. "And what?" A smile finally appeared on Huafu's face. However, this smile was very normal and came from the bottom of her heart. It didn't have the charm from before. Ever since she knew that Huaxian had met with misfortune, her entire person had changed dramatically. "Nothing." Jiang Chen shook his head and didn't dare to continue. With Mu Yud's character, he was probably planning to empty out the Blazing Phoenix clan. And this kid was much more ruthless than him. It could be described in one sentence. Wherever he went, not even a blade of grass would grow. If there were still immortal emperor sects in the immortal realm, this kid would dare to try his luck. However, the Blazing Phoenix clan was Huafu's clan. Jiang Chen didn't dare to say it. "Then what do you plan to do?" Huafu was suddenly filled with hope. Now that her father's condition was gradually improving and the Zhong family had a chance to take him back, the stone in her chest was slightly lifted. "Let's see why they let us in first." Jiang Chun put away the smile on his face and said in a deep voice, "You should also restrain yourself and stop angering Hui Yuanba." "Humph, didn't you say he was blind?" Huafu turned her head and snorted. "Who told this grandson to say that my eyesight was bad?" Jiang Chen laughed. After laughing, Jiang Chen was still thinking about Mu Yud. Seeing Wang Min and Nalan Mayer in Love Despair Valley, and seeing Mu Yud in the Blazing Phoenix clan was one of the happiest things for Jiang Chen in recent times. However, what Jiang Chen didn't know was that after he and Huafu entered, the entire hall was immediately surrounded by armored guards. They stood at the entrance and the passageway. As soon as they came out, they would immediately be driven back in. All of this was arranged by Hui Yuanba. Chapter 1763. 7 days later, Jiang Chen and Huafu remained in the room. Hui Yuanba would symbolically send some food over every once in a while. However, Whenever Jiang Chun wanted to go out, armored guards would stop him. That night, a familiar aura suddenly appeared at the door of the room. Jiang Chun pushed the door open and found Mu Yid standing outside. However, there were many guards behind him. Even the guards in the corridor were looking in their direction. "What do you want?" Jiang Chun asked with a cold expression. "I'm here on the orders of the clan leader." Mu Yid's voice was also very calm. He told the guards to stay outside and not move. Then, he gave Jiang Chun a hard shove. After entering the room, he slammed the door shut. Fu didn't want to talk to the people of the Blazing Phoenix clan. However, when she saw that Jiang Chun had been wronged, she immediately went forward and was ready to beat the person who had barged in. "Wait!" Jiang Chun grabbed Fu. "You two have recklessly barged into the Blazing Phoenix clan. I'll kill you on behalf of the clan leader." Mu Yid reached out and slapped Jiang Chun's chest. "Ah, it's really you." Jiang Chun burst out laughing. He stepped forward and hugged him tightly. "Cough. You're going to strangle me." Mu Yid coughed and said after being hugged by Jiang Chun, "Kid, why didn't you contact me after you ascended to the immortal realm?" Jiang Chun let go of him, raised his hand, and punched him on the shoulder. "I even sent my subordinates to the immortal realm to investigate your ascension. It turns out that you have already taken root there. Sit down and talk, sit down and talk." Mu Yid chuckled and sat on the stool beside the bed. "Explain to me honestly, why did you appear in the Bathing in Fire Phoenix clan's territory?" Jiang Chun looked at him and questioned him directly. "So, I ascended to the southern domain. I didn't expect the immortal realm to be so boring. I thought it would be a shocking place." Mu Yid shrugged, his eyes filled with disappointment. After thousands or even tens of millions of years of precipitation, the immortal world has long returned to its original state. However, don't be fooled by the appearance. In the lower world, if you want to become an immortal, you have to go through great suffering. But here, if you want to enter an ordinary sect to cultivate, you have to be at least an immortal. Jiang Chun chuckled and said, "That's true." Mu Yid nodded. "I can see that your position in the Flame Phoenix race isn't low. Can you tell me what happened?" Huoxian is a 7th layer Immortal King realm expert. Even if he was hit, he wouldn't be defeated by a 2nd layer Immortal King realm expert. Moreover, Jiang Chun was about to continue speaking when he suddenly remembered that Fu was still sitting there, so he stopped himself in time. "Come with me." Mu Yid knew what Jiang Chun was thinking. He got up, nodded at Jiang Chun, and walked to the door of the room. "Jiang Chun, what are you hiding from me?" Fu stared at Jiang Chun. "It's nothing. I'm also confirming this situation. Once I'm sure, I'll tell you." Jiang Chun smiled at her and followed Mu Yid out. After following Mu Yid out, Jiang Chun closed the door behind him. "There's something wrong with this person. I'm going to take him back for interrogation. You don't have to follow me." The moment he stepped out, Mu Yid's expression turned serious and his smile disappeared without a trace. "Yes." Several armored guards nodded respectfully. They didn't even look at Jiang Chun and left directly. Mu Yid waved at Jiang Chun and quickly left the hall. After walking for an hour, the two arrived at the territory of the 7th tribe. This place was at least 100 miles away from the hall. "This is half of my territory." When Hui Yuanba attacked Huoxian, the leader of the 7th tribe was seriously injured by Hui Yuanba's men in order to protect Huoxian. Then he was secretly executed. Sitting in his room, Mu Yid said without hesitation. Looking at Mu Yid's hateful expression, Jiang Chun asked tentatively, "Do you want to avenge the leader of the Huoxian tribe?" "Of course not. I'm only at the 1st level of the celestial immortal realm. How can I go against the celestial king? I just feel sorry for the leader of the Huoxian tribe. Now that Hui Yuanba trusts me, he made me the deputy leader of the 7th tribe." Mu Yid shook his head. "Tell me the truth. Have you emptied the 7th tribe?" Jiang Chun placed his hand on Mu Yid's shoulder and asked, "There are still some that I can't take away. However, with Hui Yuanba's trust in me, I can't stay in the 7th tribe forever." Mu Yid told the truth. Then he picked up a cup of wine and drank it. He said in high spirits, "The other tribes are stronger than the 7th tribe. If I can get them, I'll definitely earn a lot." "You'd better restrain yourself." Jiang Chun raised his hand and patted him. "The girl beside me is the daughter of the leader of the Huoxian tribe. If you emptied the bathing flame phoenix tribe, how can I face her? All right, I'll leave some for her. Muyid had no choice but to agree to Jiang Chen's request. Sitting in front of him, Jiang Chen poured some wine from the wine pot and said, I need your cooperation. I want to find out what crime Hui Yuanbai used to attack the leader of the Huoxian tribe. I want to know if he has any helpers behind him. Also, I want to take the bathing flame phoenix tribe back. Do you have nothing better to do? Let's empty the bathing flame phoenix tribe and find a chance to sneak out. As for the family's business, let's not bother about them. They're a bunch of immortal kings and immortal dukes. We can't fight against them. Muyid rolled his eyes at Jiang Chen. Are you going to help me or not? If you don't, I'll tell Hui Yuanba everything you've done. Jiang Chen suddenly stood up and was about to push the door open. Hey, brother, I'll definitely help you. Hearing this, Muyid became anxious. He quickly pulled Jiang Chen's arm and gave in. Not until then did Jiang Chen sit back satisfied. After explaining everything to him, Jiang Chen was afraid that Hui Yuanba would be suspicious. He immediately left the 7th tribe and prepared to go back and do what he told Muyid. The moment Jiang Chen left, Muyid also made arrangements. He used all the power he had in the Bathing Flame Phoenix tribe and replaced all the armored guards in the main hall with people he trusted the most in the 7th tribe. When Jiang Chen returned to the main hall, he saw Hui Yuanba standing in front of him as soon as he walked up the stairs. Little brother, where did you go? Hui Yuanba put on a fake smile. The scar at the corner of his mouth trembled slightly. He had sent people to control Jiang Chen and Hua Fu. He didn't expect this kid to slip out. Chapter 1764. Your men brought me out, Jiang Chen answered calmly. Then he raised his head and looked into the man's eyes. He asked, Chief Hua, aren't I your guest? Why did your subordinates take me out and threaten me when I just wanted to have a walk outside? Hui Yuanba was relieved when he heard this. Ah, you are indeed a guest of the Bathing Flame Phoenix clan. However, you have to abide by our rules. Otherwise, even I may not be able to protect you. After all, I am only the acting clan leader. Hui Yuanba laughed. He did not take Jiang Chen seriously. Jiang Chen did not continue speaking and walked out of the hall. Is everything ready? Hui Yuanba turned to look at Jiang Chen. When Jiang Chen disappeared, he called Hu Liao Yuan over. We could take action tonight, Hu Liao Yuan said respectfully. Remember, there can't be any mistakes. Right now, in the entire Bathed in Fire Phoenix clan, only Hua Fu has the purest bloodline power. Hui Yuanba took a deep breath and said, if foam or cannot absorb it, then everything we have done before will be in vain. Understood, clan leader. Hu Liao Yuan nodded heavily. Go, I will bring Hua Fu over tonight. Hui Yuanba waved at him. What about Jiang Chen? His father is the Wan Sheng Immortal Lord. When he was suppressed, the 3 immortal kings attacked together. Hu Liao Yuan did not leave immediately. Do you think Wan Sheng can come out of the Kunlun Immortal Mountain alive? Hui Yuanba laughed disdainfully. Let me tell you, even if Wan Sheng really comes here, he is not my match. Hu Liao Yuan did not say anything else when he saw Hui Yuanba's confidence. He cupped his hands and bowed before leaving the hall. Absorbing the bloodline power in Hua Fu's body was the most important thing in the clan. Once he succeeded, he would be the greatest contributor. In the future, his position in the entire Bathed in Fire Phoenix clan would continue to rise. He might even become the 2nd person in the clan after Hui Yuanba. In the evening, Jiang Chen and Hua Fu were brought out at the same time. You two, it's been a while since you arrived at the clan. I was very busy dealing with some matters before, but now I'm finally free. Tonight, I've specially arranged a banquet in the 6th tribe to welcome our guests. Jiang Chen, when your father was still alive, the two of us had a pretty good relationship. Hui Yuanba chuckled as he looked at Jiang Chen. So Patriarch Wen knows my father. Jiang Chen glanced at him and replied casually. Of course. Hui Yuanba gently waved his hand behind his back, and a dozen armored guards came forward and stood behind Jiang Chen and Hui Yuanba. They were all holding feathered weapons in their hands. As long as Jiang Chen and Hua Fu showed any signs of discomfort, they would immediately take action to control them. Following Hui Yuanba, Fu could not help but ask, could it be that the 10,000 vehicle immortal monarch knows him? How come I've never heard him mention it when I was living in the clan? He's talking nonsense. With his status in the Bathing Flame Phoenix clan, my father didn't care about him at all. Jiang Chen could not help but laugh. He could easily see through Hui Yuanba's lies. Hui Yuanba was the great elder back then. You mean to say that your father looks down on even our Blazing Phoenix clan's great elder? Incidentally, he also doesn't place our clan in his eyes? Fu frowned. Ahem, I didn't say anything about your Bathing Flame Phoenix clan. Jiang Chen suddenly felt a chill as he quickly explained. Fu was obviously in a better mood after the banter, but Jiang Chen frowned slightly. He had a feeling that Hui Yuanba wouldn't just send them to attend the banquet. It had to be a feast at Hongmen, the sixth tribe. When Huoxian was still alive, Hui Yuanba was not only the great elder of the clan, but also the leader of the sixth tribe. It could be said that the sixth tribe was one of the most loyal to him in the entire Bathing Flame Phoenix clan. Just as they walked into a courtyard in the tribe, Hui Yuanba raised his head and waved. Several armored guards immediately restrained Jiang Chen and Fu. Jiang Chen's hands were behind his back, but he was neither servile nor overbearing as he asked with a smile, Patriarch Hui, is this the etiquette of your Bathing Flame Phoenix clan? Shoo. Hui Yuanba placed his finger on the scar at the corner of his mouth. Hui Yuanba, you were the great elder of our Bathing Flame Phoenix clan. My father treated you well. Your sixth tribe was the tribe that received the most kindness and care in the entire clan. I didn't expect you to rebel and even seriously injure my father. Fu struggled with all her might. However, she found that her immortal power was firmly locked in her body and could not be mobilized. She lowered her head and saw that her abdomen had been tied by a red rope at some point in time. Phoenix binding lock? Fu was furious and shouted, Hui Yuanba, how dare you treat me like a felon? Don't forget, I'm the young miss of the Bathing Flame Phoenix clan. Fu, I had no choice but to do this. You must have heard some lies at Huoquan's place. That's why you misunderstood me. Your father treated me so well. How could I do such a thing? Hui Yuanba explained with a smile. All right, then release me and Jiang Chen. Let me investigate the truth. If I really misunderstood you, I will apologize to you. Fu sneered and struggled a few times. However, under the effect of the Phoenix binding lock, she could not mobilize any of her immortal power. She was no different from an ordinary person. Of course you can. However, there is a more important matter that needs to be resolved. Your father has gone missing. I don't know if he's dead or alive. If something happens to him, I can only replace the patriarch of the Bathing Flame Phoenix clan. Therefore, I need the pure bloodline power in your body. Hui Yuanba did not care about this at all. He had already prepared everything that could be used to extract the bloodline power. Fu was also under his control. He no longer had to worry about the two of them slipping out of the clan if he was not careful. What did you say? Fu's originally flirtatious face became somewhat distorted. She did not expect to hear such words from Hui Yuanba's mouth. Once her bloodline power was extracted, she could not even be called a member of the Bathing Flame Phoenix clan. Moreover, she had inherited her father's purest bloodline. This bloodline was the symbol of the king of the Phoenix clan. Whoever had the purest bloodline power in their body, the other clansmen had to unconditionally submit. This was the clan rule passed down from generation to generation in the Bathing Flame Phoenix clan. Good niece, I have no choice but to do this. I hope you can understand. Hui Yuanba rubbed his hands and waved at the armored guard. Chapter 1765. Under the lead of the armored guards, Fu was brought to the deepest part of the courtyard. Patriarch Hui, do you think you can succeed today? Jiang Chen followed behind him. Although there were several people controlling him, his expression was very calm. There's no reason not to, Jiang Chen. For the sake of the 10,000 vehicle immortal lord, I can let you live. But you know too much. I'm afraid you'll have to live in our Bathing Flame Phoenix tribe in the future. Hui Yuanba tilted his head and looked at Jiang Chen. But if you want to die, I can satisfy you. After all, the 10,000 vehicle immortal lord is still suppressed in the Kunlun Immortal Mountain. Even if he comes out, he'll be besieged by the three immortal kings again. Don't you think so? That's true. Jiang Chen nodded. He had to admit that Hui Yuanba's words did make sense. It was also because his father was hiding in the immortal world. If his identity was exposed, the three immortal kings would appear again. They walked to the back of the courtyard. Jiang Chen saw that there was a pool of water there. The pool wasn't very big. After the two of them entered, it seemed a little crowded. There were flames burning on the surface of the water, and a strange fragrance wafted out. Hui Yuanba, do you really dare to do this? After seeing the pool, Hua Fu's face fell. She couldn't be more familiar with this place. In the past, when she lived in the family, as long as someone violated the family rules, they would be brought here and use the curse fire in the pool to burn the bloodline power in their body. I'll give you two options. Hui Yuanba stretched out 2 fingers at Hua Fu and smiled. First, I'll throw you into the pool and burn the bloodline power in your body. From then on, you'll no longer be the young miss of the bathing flame phoenix tribe. You won't even be called an ordinary member. Second, I've already arranged it. As long as you and Hua Fu enter at the same time, the bloodline power in your body will be exchanged. This way, you'll still be a member of the bathing flame phoenix tribe, but the bloodline power in your body will no longer be pure. 2 options, which one do you choose? You are really despicable. Hua Fu was so angry that her entire body was trembling. She could never have imagined that the great elder, who had been so good to her 10,000 years ago, would become like this now. She even wanted her and Hua Feng to do such improper things. When she thought of Fire Phoenix's feminine face, she felt disgusted. Don't worry, I'll give you time to think about it. Hui Yuanba sat beside the pool. Little sister Hua Fu, why don't you submit to me? As long as the power of the bloodline in our bodies is exchanged, I will be the future clan leader of the Bathing Flame Phoenix clan. If you are together with me, you will be treated the same as when you were the young miss. Fire Phoenix licked her lips and walked out of one of the rooms. If it weren't for his father and so many guards here, he would have already taken Hua Fu down. You're so disgusting. Hua Fu frowned and cursed. It seems that you haven't made up your mind yet. Hui Yuanba saw that Hua Fu had no intention of lowering her head, so he went forward and grabbed her arm, bringing her to the side of the pool. Fenger, get ready. Hua Feng took off her clothes excitedly, leaving only her underwear on her body. Looking at her reflection in the pool, Hua Fu calmed down. She blamed Emperor Qinji for not sealing her cultivation when she left the tomb. 6th level Immortal King was enough to crush Hui Yuanba and help her father return to the position of clan leader. However, she was only an immortal monarch now, and her immortal power was still locked in her body, unable to be released. Hua Fu's only way was to let her immortal power explode in her body. She didn't want to be humiliated by Hua Feng, and she didn't want Jiang Chen to see everything. Self-destruction was the only way. While she was thinking, Hua Feng had already jumped into the pool. Wait! Just as Hui Yuanba was about to push Hua Fu into the pool, Jiang Chen's voice rang out. What's wrong with you? Hui Yuanba turned to look at Jiang Chen. Perhaps you won't be able to reach your goal today. Jiang Chen sneered. In the midst of his laughter, Jiang Chen's cultivation rose abruptly. From the 5th level of the Heaven Immortal Realm to the 3rd level of the Immortal Venerable Realm, all the guards behind him were blasted away and fell far away, vomiting blood. No one knew if they were dead or alive. All of the trees in a 100-mile radius around the Flame Bath Phoenix clan started withering quickly, and all of their spiritual power started converging toward Jiang Chen's body. The beginning of all beginnings? Hua Fu's eyes trembled slightly. This was the wood attribute immortal technique left behind by Emperor Qinji. When cultivated to the great success stage, it could absorb all the wood attribute spiritual energy within 10,000 miles and transform it into one zone. Jiang Chen frowned slightly. With his current physical body, reaching the 3rd level of the Immortal Venerable Realm was already approaching the critical point. If he got any stronger, his body wouldn't be able to withstand such a huge amount of energy and would explode. You're indeed the young master of the 10,000 Mounts Immortal Sect. Unfortunately, your father has already been suppressed. Now, You're just a piece of trash who's relying on the pact of two realms and the 1,000-year pact to survive in the immortal world. I could suppress you even without doing anything. Hui Yuanba was a little surprised, but it was mostly disdain. You'll have to pay a price if you want to kill me. Jiang Qin took a deep breath, and the immortal force in his body began to circulate crazily. Then, 7 different types of immortal force radiance slowly appeared around his body. Light attribute, dark attribute, wood attribute, lightning attribute. Jiang Qin's deep black pupils were now flowing with 7 colors. 7 attributes? This time, Hui Yuanba was completely stunned. With his knowledge, he had only seen geniuses with 3 types of immortal force. Those geniuses were already considered peerless talents in the immortal world. Jiang Qin, who was in front of him, actually had 7 types of immortal force. These 7 types of immortal force did not restrain each other, and they even fused into one. Kid, I can't let you live anymore. When Hui Yuanba detected that Jiang Qin's cultivation had already reached the immortal venerable realm, a crazy smile appeared on his face. The current him didn't have to fear the promise of 2 realms and the promise of 1,000 years anymore, and he could attack Jiang Qin directly. Jiang Qin, get out of here! Hua Fu shouted at the top of her lungs. She knew that this was Jiang Qin's trump card and trump card. Even so, it was still impossible for him to compete with a second-stage immortal king. If you want to leave, then we'll leave together. If you don't, then we'll have to start all over again. Jiang Qin's lips curled into a cold smile. He had already gone through 10 reincarnations once, and he was not afraid of doing it again. Moreover, it was not bad to have Hua Fu with him. You won't be able to leave here alive. Hui Yuanba took a deep breath, and a huge phoenix phantom appeared behind him. On the phoenix's head, there was also a black eye patch. After seeing Jiang Qin's trump card, he had already made up his mind to kill him. 7 different types of immortal force. If Jiang Qin was left alive, he would become an immortal king expert 2 years ago at the latest. Chapter 1766. At that time, he would not be a match for Qian Yuanba. Hui Yuanba was not a person who would leave behind a calamity for himself. This could be seen from the fact that he had been investigating Hua Xian's whereabouts for the past 500 years. If you want to kill me, you will have to pay a price. The 7-colored flowing light around Jiang Qin's body gradually gathered in his palm. Immediately, a 7-colored long sword appeared. When it was raised, even the space fluctuated. If it was not for the boundaries set up by Hua Xian, it would have collapsed. Then come and try. Hui Yuanba's whole body was in the air. The phoenix shadow behind him took a deep breath, and a colorful light ball condensed in its mouth. Immediately, it attacked Jiang Qin. Origin. After seeing this scene, Hua Fu's heart was like dead ashes. This was the strongest move of the bathing in Flame Phoenix tribe. With Hui Yuanba's cultivation of 2nd-level Immortal King, even a 4th-level Immortal King would have to be very careful. Jiang Qin was only a 3rd-level Immortal Venerable now. There was no chance for him to resist. I will definitely bring Sister Hua Fu out of here. The 7-colored light in Jiang Qin's eyes almost devoured his eyes. He raised the 7-colored long sword and slashed fiercely in the air. When he made his move, the bloodline in his body suddenly sensed something. A black shadow swept over from afar at an extremely fast speed. In the blink of an eye, it had already arrived in front of the boundary of the bathing in Flame Phoenix tribe. However, Jiang Qin did not notice it. The light ball pierced the sky and swept towards Jiang Qin. Seeing the light ball gradually enlarging in front of her, Hua Fu slowly closed her eyes. Now, other than cursing Emperor Qianji 100 times in her heart, she had no other choice. But when she felt the blazing heat, a smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. With Jiang Qin risking his life to protect her, even if she died here, it would be worth it. TSK, how dare you hurt my disciple? Your position as the leader of the bathing in Flame Phoenix tribe is over. Just as the light ball was about to fall in front of Jiang Qin and collide with the 7-colored long sword, a clicking sound was heard. Immediately afterward, the space above Jiang Qin suddenly split open, and a slender palm stretched out. Then it was a pure white sleeve robe. His palm gently blocked the ball of light. Then he bent his fingers and forcefully crushed the ball of light. The ball of light that contained such powerful energy actually disappeared without a trace. Not even a ripple was emitted. "Who is it?" Hui Yuanba was shocked and quickly asked. "I'm this kid's master. If you want to address me, you can call me the white-robed immortal king." Bai Xianling stepped out from the void. With a wave of his hand, the phoenix phantom behind Hui Yuanba quickly dissipated as if it had suffered a heavy blow. Pucci! With the illusion destroyed, Hui Yuanba fell to his knees and coughed out a mouthful of blood. His aura immediately weakened. "I thought you lied to me." Seeing him, Jiang Chen's tense nerves instantly relaxed. The rainbow-colored sword in his hand gradually turned transparent, and his immortal energy returned to his body. His rainbow-colored eyes also returned to their original black color. However, his entire body was extremely weak. He sat on the ground and panted heavily. "Kid, you're really good at causing trouble. I've just found some clues about your mother in the unknown area, and I immediately came back to save you. I'm afraid the clues will no longer be there when I return." Bai Xianling let out a sigh. He. Jiang Chen let out an awkward laugh. Outside the barrier, Wan Cheng was squatting on top of a tree. He was relieved after sensing Bai Xuanling's aura. He knew that with her around, Jiang Chen would not be in any danger. However, just as he was relieved, he began to complain about Jiang Chen like Bai Xianling. "This kid, doesn't he know that your mother and I are reminiscing about the past? How dare he interrupt us? I'll give you 2 tight slaps on your, but when we meet again." After cursing, Wan Cheng turned around and left, as if he had never been there. Hui Yuanba knelt on the ground. He could not understand why Jiang Chen was the disciple of the white-robed celestial king. Wasn't his father suppressed by the white-robed celestial king in the Kunlun celestial mountain? "Hui Yuanba, I have nothing to do with your bathing flame phoenix tribe. However, if you want to hurt my disciple, only Hui Xian can stop me. The others, including you, are not qualified to do so." Where's Hui Xian?" Bai Xianling took out a folding fan and fanned herself as she walked toward Hui Yuanba. After a few words, she felt that something was wrong. In her impression, the leader of the bathing flame phoenix tribe should be Hui Xian. However, before she appeared, she heard Jiang Chen addressing Hui Yuanba as the leader. This made Bai Xianling a little confused. White-robed celestial king, Hui Yuanba colluded with some people in the tribe and took the opportunity to attack my father. Now my father is severely injured and unconscious. I hope the white-robed celestial king can uphold justice and eliminate the remaining members of the bathing flame phoenix tribe. Hu Fu took the opportunity to kneel down in front of Bai Xianling and begged, "The matters of your bathing flame phoenix tribe have nothing to do with me. Moreover, the spiritual beasts of the southern region do not want people like me to interfere." Bai Xianling held her forehead. Just as she was about to reject, she suddenly saw Jiang Chen staring at her. At the thought of how Jiang Chen had risked his life for a woman with the cultivation of an immortal lord, he gradually understood what was going on. He sighed, nodded, and said, "Okay, for Jiang Chen's sake, I'll help you." "Thank you, white-robed celestial king." Hu Fu smiled. She knew that with the white-robed celestial king here, Hui Yuanba and the others' good days were over. In the main hall of the first tribe, at this moment, Bai Xianling was sitting on the main seat. Among the group of people standing below, some were happy and some were sad. However, everyone had the same thought. Why would Bai Xianling suddenly come here and interfere with the matters of the bathing flame phoenix tribe? But that was just a thought. Facing one of the 3 legendary celestial kings, no one dared to speak. Cough, cough. I don't need to introduce myself. I think all of you know who I am. Bai Xianling held the fan in her hand and said, "Originally, I did not want to interfere in your matters. But since someone asked for it, I had no choice but to interfere. Miss Hu Fu, if you have anything to say, just say it. With me here, I will definitely uphold justice for you." "All right, then I will say it directly. Hui Yuanba is an elder of the tribe. He colluded with Hu Liaoyuan and Hu Di to secretly attack my father. He took away the position of the tribe leader, and now he is coveting the bloodline power in my body. If it was not for the help of the white immortal king, I am afraid that Jiangchun and I would be dead. Huafu did not hesitate. She walked in front of Bai Xianling and looked at the few people standing in front of her and said loudly, "Don't slander me. I have never hurt your father. Your father's disappearance has nothing to do with me." Hui Yuanba explained loudly. Chapter 1767. My father is in Elder Huaquan's village and is being protected by the villagers. A few days ago, Huafeng brought some people to search for him. Huafeng sneered, "You piece of trash." Hui Yuanba glared at his son as soon as he heard that. "I never found him." Huafeng felt wronged. He had been there many times but never found him. In the end, he thought that Huaxian had been secretly moved away by them and never thought about it. Mu Yud, go to the village and ask Elder Huaquan and Elder Lin to bring Huaxian's clan leader back. Zhang Chen looked at Mu Yud and said, "Okay." Mu Yud nodded and walked out of the hall. "Mu Yud, isn't your name Mu Daud?" Hui Yuanba was so angry that he almost lost his mind. "Since you ascended from the lower realm, I have always treated you as my disciple. I didn't expect you to lie to me and listen to Jiang Chun. I'm sorry." Mu Yud chuckled. "Son of a bitch." Hui Yuanba almost vomited blood. He beat his chest and stamped his feet. Only then did he feel his blood flow smoother. "Everyone, you used to be my father's subordinates. You are seniors who watch me grow up. I don't care if you took the initiative to join Hui Yuanba or submit to his power. I hope you can turn back in time." Huafeng glanced at these people and spoke with a sharp voice. She already had an aura above these people. The group of people looked at each other. No one dared to take the initiative to speak. Whether they took the initiative or not, they had done many things that violated the clan's rules. They did not know if Huafeng had really forgiven them or if she was just bluffing them. After a while, Mu Yud walked in again. Huaquan and Lin Baichao followed behind him. Behind them were a few villagers carrying Huaxian. Under Lin Baichao's treatment, Huaxian had recovered a little. However, there were still no signs of him waking up. "Father, Huaxian." Huafeng was excited when he saw Huaxian, who had disappeared for hundreds of years. "I'm not blind." Hui Yuanba's eyes were wide open. If Bai Xianling was not here, he would have rushed forward and killed Huaxian immediately. What he regretted the most now was that he hadn't immediately attacked Huaxian after seriously injuring him. That had given him the opportunity to rescue Huaxian from the family. White-robed, immortal king. Huaquan threw away the crutch in his hand and knelt down on the ground, kowtowing to Bai Xianling. He knew that other than Bai Xianling, no one else in the Bathed in Flames Phoenix tribe could uphold justice for them. "You are." Upon seeing the old man, Bai Xianling took a closer look at him. "I am the personal bodyguard of clan leader Huaxuan. I was once an elder of the Flame Phoenix clan. Later on, I was injured and went to live in a village outside the clan." White-robed immortal king, as the grand elder of the clan, Hui Yuanba didn't share the burden of the patriarch and helped the blazing phoenix race gain a foothold in the southern region and even the entire immortal world. Instead, he joined forces with the evil forces of the outside world to make a move against the patriarch, causing the patriarch to be heavily injured and unconscious for several hundred years. Huaquan stood up and pointed at Huaxian, who was lying on the bed. "You are slandering me. I was wondering why the patriarch of Huaxian disappeared for several hundred years. It turns out that you were the one who did it secretly. You are trying to slander me. I will kill you now, you despicable bastard." Hui Yuanba was enraged when he heard the truth. Although he was injured, he was still at the second tier of the immortal king realm. He raised his palm and gathered his immortal force before slamming it down on Huaquan. He didn't hold back at all. He wanted to kill both Huaquan's body and soul. "Why are you so impatient?" Bai Xianling smiled faintly. When the palm was about to hit Huaquan's head, Huaquan knew that he was no match for Hui Yuanba. He closed his eyes and waited for his death. Swoosh! A white light flashed. Hui Yuanba was covered by a giant white net. Then he was lifted into the air. "In this immortal realm, no one has ever succeeded in behaving in front of me, an immortal king," Bai Xianling said, nodding, crossing her legs. She looked exactly the same as Jiang Chun. White robe, immortal king. Don't listen to them. Hui Yuanba struggled with all his might. However, his cultivation was too weak, and he couldn't break free. He could only shout at the top of his lungs. Whether it is true or not, I will find out. You, on the other hand, are eager to kill me. I have reason to suspect that you are lying to me. Bai Xinling walked down the stage and stood in front of Huoxian. Although the patriarch of the Blazing Phoenix tribe was not as strong as him, he was still an outstanding immortal king. Now that he had fallen to such a state, he naturally felt sorry for him. Great Elder Lin, how is he? Bai Xinling looked at Huoxian and asked. His condition is not good. White robe, immortal king, you can see for yourself. Lin Baichao knew that Bai Xinling had a good relationship with Jiang Chun when he thought about how Bai Xinling was willing to help Jiang Chun. Therefore, he kept Bai Xinling in suspense. Bai Xinling raised his eyebrows and pressed on Huoxian's chest. Instantly, his face changed. He then turned around and looked at Jiang Chun. His condition is not good. Carry him inside. I will treat him personally, Bai Xinling said to the villagers. Yes. The villagers immediately stood up and carried Huoxian into the main hall. Everyone, before Huoxian wakes up, you are not allowed to leave the enchantment of the Blazing Phoenix tribe. If anyone dares to disobey my orders, I will hunt him down to the ends of the earth. If you don't believe me, you can try. Bai Xinling glanced at the villagers and said indifferently, White robe, immortal king, this is the southern region, the enchantment of the Blazing Phoenix tribe. Although you are one of the 3 immortal kings, you are not allowed to meddle in our affairs. Aren't you afraid that all the spiritual beast tribes in the southern region will join forces and attack you? Hui Yuanba was anxious. He knew that once White Robe, immortal king, interfered, what he had done would be exposed. Go back to wherever it's cool. White Robe, immortal king, was too lazy to talk to him. He controlled the giant net to float to a corner. No matter what Hui Yuanba said, he would not be able to hear him. Put the few of them into the water prison immediately. Without my and White Robe Immortal King's orders, no one is allowed to come out. Huofu pointed at the armored guards and ordered. After saying that, she stretched out her hand. A few red ropes floated out from not far away and tied Huofeng, Liao Yuan, and the others. In the main hall, Bai Xinling stood in front of the bed with his hands behind his back and looked at Huoxian, who was lying on the bed. Chapter 1768. Lin Baichao and Jiang Chun, stay here. The rest of you can leave first. I'll call for you if anything happens. Bai Xinling said after a while. No. Huofu shook her head firmly. When they were in the village, Lin Baichao had stopped her from entering when he was talking to Jiang Chun. Now, the White Robe Immortal King asked her to leave. Huofu was not a fool. She could feel that her father's condition was not good. You should leave first. I can assure you that the Fire Xin clan's clan master won't be in any danger. Jiang Chun patted her shoulder and spoke. Really? Huofu trusted Jiang Chun completely now. Of course. When have I ever lied to you? Jiang Chun said with a gentle smile. With Jiang Chen's promise, Huofu and Huo Quan left the room. As soon as the door closed, Bai Xinling looked at Jiang Chun with a puzzled look and asked, It's been such a short time since we last met. Your cultivation is a bit slow, but your medical skills are improving very quickly. Ah, what are you talking about? Jiang Chun was confused. Didn't you say that you can guarantee Huoxian's safety? Bai Xinling was confused. With you here, of course there's no problem. Jiang Chun extended his hand and patted Bai Xuanling's chest naturally. He said, Don't tell me that one of the 3 great immortal kings doesn't even have such an ability. If that's the case, I will really look down on you. Bai Xinling was speechless. White Robe Immortal King. Have you also noticed that something is wrong? Lin Baichao asked. That's right. Huoxian's condition is a bit complicated. It's like a black plague. Bai Xinling nodded. What is the black plague? This time, it was Jiang Chen's turn to be confused. The virus in Black Sky Emperor's body. As far as I know, he was only at the first level of the Immortal King realm. However, He suddenly entered an unknown area and seemed to have encountered some fortuitous encounters. When he came out, he was carrying the virus. Then, after a few thousand years, he became Black Sky Emperor. Bai Xinling slowly opened his mouth and told them everything he knew about Black Sky Emperor. However, too much time had passed. Back then, he was only an ordinary immortal king. He only knew about this when he was young. Now, not to mention news, even the name Black Sky Emperor was probably not known by many people in the immortal realm. He was infected with the Black Plague? Jiang Chun frowned slightly. I don't think so. Black Sky Emperor has disappeared from the immortal world for a long time. It just feels like it. After all, I have never seen anyone fall for the real thing. Bai Xinling shrugged. Is there a way to treat it? Thinking of Huofu, Jiang Chun hurriedly asked. Is there? Bai Xinling asked Lin Baichao. I've already used everything I can, but I can't wake him up. Lin Baichao smiled bitterly. This was the most difficult time he had encountered since he left the Tianji sect. If he was still in the sect, he would have a solution. However, he was in too much of a hurry to leave the sect and only took a portion of the medical books and pills with him. Let me do it. Kid, remember that you owe me a favor. Bai Xinling reached out and helped Huoxian up. After sitting cross-legged on the bed, she pressed on his back. A pure and terrifying immortal qi spread out from Bai Xuanling's body. It flowed through her arms and into Huoxian's body and began to expel the poison from his body. TSK, you owe me a lot of favors. Jiang Chun curled his lips. She threw such a big Tianji pavilion to him. Part of the immortal jades she got were used to pay off his father's debt, and the other part was used to pay for the Tianji pavilion's expenses. When Bai Xinling was treating Huoxian's injuries, Jiang Chun quietly left the room. Now that the bathing flame phoenix clan had taken it back, there was no need for Mu Yud to continue staying here. Walking out of the main hall, Jiang Chun saw him sitting on the steps, sulking. How are you going to compensate me for what you owe me here? Mu Yud pointed at his pocket and asked Jiang Chun in a low voice. How about I give you my body as compensation? Jiang Chun sneered. Disgusting, stay away from me. Mu Yud quickly pushed him away. Now that the bathing flame phoenix clan has returned to Huoxian's hands, have you thought about where to go next? Jiang Chun asked. Before Mu Yud could reply, he continued, why don't you stay by my side? Since you've said so, what else can I say? Mu Yud replied helplessly. 2 days passed. The fluctuation of Bai Xuanling's immortal qi finally dissipated. At the same time, Huofu rushed into the room, and Jiang Chun followed closely behind. Huoxian is fine now. After a few days of rest, he will be able to recover. But his cultivation might be affected, but overall, it's okay. Bai Xinling heaved a sigh of relief. Thank you, white-robed, immortal emperor. Huofu was overjoyed and immediately dropped to her knees. It's the best way to show your gratitude if you can stay by Jiang Chun's side. Bai Xinling glanced outside and let out a sigh. As for you, can't you stop worrying about me? Don't make me run back and forth. I can't say for sure. Jiang Chun placed his hands behind him, showing no mercy to Bai Xinling. Bai Xinling did not bother arguing with Jiang Chun. He got off the bed and straightened his face. Now that Huoxian's situation has been resolved, it's time to ask him why he ended up like this. Got it. Jiang Chun nodded. He knew what Bai Xinling was planning to do. The group left the hall. Just when Bai Xinling raised her hand and was about to move the net over, a loud sound was heard from a corner far away. A terrifying aura spread out, and even the spirit barrier was on the verge of collapsing. Construct the barrier, or else the clan members won't be able to hold on. Bai Xuanling's heart skipped a beat. Without hesitation, she spread out her arms and unleashed her immortal force. Lin Baichao followed suit and unleashed his immortal force without holding back. Under the combined efforts of the two, the aura was firmly locked in the corner. Even the collapsed barrier was repaired rapidly. Oh no! After stabilizing the situation, Bai Xinling yelled. A figure suddenly appeared in the corner. When Jiang Chun and the rest arrived, the aura had completely calmed down. Looking at the corner, there was only a giant net left. Hui Yuanba's figure was nowhere to be seen. Did he escape? Huofu clenched her fists and asked. No, he blew himself up. Bai Xianling shook her head. That terrifying aura was definitely caused by an immortal king expert blowing himself up. Chapter 1769. What a ruthless man. Jiang Chen squinted his eyes and saw that the net was empty. He could not help but complain. Given father's lenient attitude towards the family, he would not be too harsh on him. He might be stripped of all his positions, but he would not be killed. Why would he do that? Well, Fu could not understand. Isn't it obvious? Suicide for fear of punishment. He was afraid that he would not be able to withstand my interrogation. Tell me who the mastermind is. Once he did that, he would definitely suffer a fate worse than death. It would be thousands of times more painful than self-detonation. Bai Xianling sneered. With his position, he was used to such things. Someone instructed him? Well, Fu could not understand what was going on. You don't need to know about this. Bai Xianling shook his head and continued. Now that the bathing flame phoenix race is back in your hands, where Xian's condition has improved, there is no need for me to stay here. You still want to go to an unknown area? Jiang Chen frowned and asked. What do you think? Bai Xianling stretched out his hand and tapped on Jiang Chen's forehead twice. If you were not in danger, I would have found your mother. You really spoiled my plans. As if my mother would accept you if you found her. Jiang Chen said disdainfully. You dare to say that again? Bai Xianling felt as if his deepest nerve had been pricked. He jumped up and said, Jiang Chen, if you are in danger in the future, I will not care about you anymore. Then my mother will skin you alive. Jiang Chen crossed his arms and said while shaking his head, I will send you out of the immortal realm with a slap. Bai Xianling could not bear it any longer. He raised his palm and hit Jiang Chen's head directly. Ahem, I have something important to tell you. Jiang Chen did not dare to provoke him again. What is it? Bai Xianling asked seriously. My disciple was captured by the sect leader of the Black Sect. I want you to save her. Jiang Chen took a deep breath. Although he had encountered many happy things recently, Hikari would always be the pain in Jiang Chen's heart. That naive little girl was afraid that he didn't have enough immortal jades, so she ate less beef. She was determined to become a powerhouse to protect him. But now, she was no longer by his side. What did you find out? Bai Xianling pulled Jiang Chen's arm and walked to the side. The Black Sect sovereign seems to be planning something big. He asked his subordinate sub-schools to select suitable young people and send them over. Hikari is the most suitable one, and he also said that he needs my soul as a bargaining chip. Jiang Chen directly explained the whole situation. All right, I got it. Bai Xianling nodded. And then? Jiang Chen asked expectantly. With Bai Xianling's help, the chances of saving Hikari would be greatly increased. He can even bring Bai Xianling to the outer realm to confront your sect master. There is no then. I'll keep an eye out for you. Bai Xianling said in a deep voice, the current immortal world is not like what you know. There are some rules and laws that even I can't touch or violate. I can only keep an eye out for you, but I can't help you personally. Okay. Jiang Chen let out a deep sigh. That's all for now. Bai Xianling left after saying this sentence and left through space. Looking at the empty space in front of him, Jiang Chen scratched his head helplessly. There was nothing he could do. Bai Xianling's refusal to help was within his expectations. But the words she said had piqued Jiang Chen's interest. If it wasn't for you, our bathing flame phoenix race would have been taken away by Hui Yuanba. Huafu walked to Jiang Chen and said softly, It has nothing to do with me. It was White Robe Immortal King who did it. Jiang Chen grinned. He was not used to Huafu being so gentle. In the next few days, Huafu gradually understood the situation of the clan. She knew what Hui Yuanba had done in the past 500 years as the clan leader. When the leaders of the other clans realized that their clans were back in Huaxian's hands, they automatically told her everything they knew. Huafu did not go back on her words. She only gave a verbal warning without any punishment. However, Huafu could not figure out the losses of the 7th clan. In the clan, be it immortal skills, elixirs, clothes, or utensils, they suffered heavy losses as if they had been robbed. This was something that had never happened in the other 6 clans. After knowing the situation, Jiang Chen knew that it was Mu Yuda's doing, but he did not dare to say it out loud. He was afraid that Huafu would order Mu Yuda to spit out everything in a fit of anger. On the night when Lin Bai Chao left the bathing flame phoenix race and returned to the heaven and earth pharmacy, Huaxian woke up. He lay on the bed and opened his eyes. He looked at everything in front of him in a daze. He remembered that before he fainted, he had fought with the people of his clan and unfortunately fell into a trap. Then, he lost consciousness. Clan leader Huaxian, you're awake. Seeing him sit up, Jiang Chun went to pour him a glass of water. Well, who are you? Why haven't I seen you in the clan? Looking at the familiar environment, Huaxian knew that he was lying in his daughter's room. But he had never seen the young man in front of him before. Jiang Chun, Huafu's friend. Jiang Chun said, "Oh, Huafu is back." Huaxian immediately struggled to sit up from the bed. His daughter had followed Emperor Qinji for 10,000 years. Even after Emperor Qinji's death, she became the guardian spiritual beast of the mausoleum. When Huaxian first heard the news, he was depressed for hundreds of years. "Let me help you out." Jiang Chun supported him as they walked out of the hall. When Huaxian came out, everyone who saw him stood there in a daze. Even though his body was still a little weak, the aura that he had accumulated over tens of thousands of years as a patriarch had not diminished at all. When he sat on the seat of honor at the front of the hall, the flames on the barrier became a little more vigorous. "Greetings, clan leader." After feeling Huaxian's aura, everyone gathered in the open space in front of them. No matter who they were, they all prostrated themselves on the ground. It had been a long time since they had felt this kind of bloodline pressure. "Everyone, I just woke up. I don't know what happened in the clan." Huaxian rubbed his forehead. His head was dizzy. "Where's Huafu? I want to see her." "Where's Miss? I just saw her. Maybe she went to the 7th tribe again." Everyone raised their heads and looked around. "Father." While they were talking, a fiery red flowing light came from afar and stopped in front of Huaxian. Chapter 1770. Huafu raised her head, clear tears falling from her face to the ground. "Daughter, did I make you feel wronged when I was unconscious?" Huaxian stood up and reached out to hold Huafu's face. Seeing her tear-stained face, his heart was about to break. "I didn't feel wronged." Huafu shook her head. "Everyone, let's disperse first. After I have a good rest, we will meet again at noon tomorrow." Huaxian was no longer in the mood to talk to the people in the family. He pulled Huafu's arm and returned to the main hall. Everyone agreed, but they still knelt on the ground without moving. After 500 years, they were already used to Huaxian not being in the family. Although Hui Yuanba's methods were ruthless, he still suppressed them with his strength. Even though Huaxian was only in the immortal realm, the bloodline power in his body forced them to lower their heads. Now that Huaxian had returned after 500 years, they couldn't resist the pressure in their bloodline. Everyone knelt on the ground, not even having the strength to lift their legs. "Patriarch, I really didn't expect to see you wake up one day." Hua Quan wiped his tears. The hand holding the walking stick was trembling. "What happened in the family? Can anyone explain to me? Hui Yuanba didn't frame me. But why am I still here and can't sense his aura?" Huaxian gently patted Huafu's back. His dignified eyes were filled with doubt. Seeing Huafu and Hua Quan so agitated, Jiang Chun directly said, "You have been unconscious for 500 years. During these 500 years, the Flame Phoenix clan has always been in the hands of Hui Yuanba and the others. It was Elder Hua Quan who rescued you and hid you in a small mountain village under the mountain." Jiang Chun organized his thoughts and told her everything he knew about the Flame Bathing Phoenix race and the situation he had encountered after coming back with Huafu. Listening to Jiang Chun's explanation, Huaxian's aura gradually rose, and even the temperature of the entire space became hot. When his voice fell, Huaxian gradually calmed down. "Is that really the case?" Huaxian lowered his head and asked. "Yes, it's all thanks to the white-robed Immortal King's help. Otherwise, I'm afraid we wouldn't have been able to get through this crisis." Huafu nodded gently. Now that she thought of how Jiang Chun had wanted to fight Hui Yuanba to the death, besides feeling touched, she was even more afraid. Huaxian lightly pushed Huafu away, and then he stood up and cupped his hands towards Jiang Chun while speaking with a voice that was like a sonorous bell. Little brother, thank you for inviting the white-robed immortal king to lend a hand and resolve the danger my blazing phoenix clan faced. I don't know how to repay such kindness, so why don't you just ask directly? As long as I'm able to accomplish it, I won't refuse. Father, even your injuries were treated by Jiang Chun, Huafu continued. That's right, clan leader. Grand Elder Lin Baichao of the Heaven and Earth Dispensary was the one who provided the medicinal pill. The white-robed immortal king personally used his immortal energy to heal you. If it wasn't for Jiang Chun, given our situation back then, we wouldn't even be able to invite a single one of them. Huaquan also explained. At the same time, he glanced at Jiang Chun with gratitude in his eyes. Why didn't you tell me the truth? Huaxian shivered slightly. He could already discern from Jiang Chen's words how great of a contribution Jiang Chen had made. After he considered this matter carefully, he knelt on the ground worriedly and said in a deep voice, "Just state your request. If you are willing, I can make you the Flame Bath Phoenix clan's great elder." Don't, I'm not interested in it. Jiang Chun was shocked and quickly waved his hand to refuse. He had already carried the Tianji Pavilion and the Tianji sect on his back. If he carried the Blazing Phoenix clan on his back, he was afraid he would be crushed to death. Clan leader, I know what he wants. Huaquan looked for a while and suddenly thought of something and hurriedly said, "Oh?" Huaxian got up. After listening to Huaquan's whisper, he looked at Jiang Chun with a different gaze. I didn't expect that little brother was actually the young master of the Tianji sect and also received the true teachings of the Qinji Emperor. My daughter Huafu was the protector of the Qinji Emperor back then. So be it. We, the Blazing Phoenix clan, will join your sect and shoulder the heavy responsibility of revitalizing the Tianji sect with you. Huaxian did not think and directly stepped forward to hold Jiang Chen's hand. Good. This time, Jiang Chun did not hesitate. With such a powerful immortal king expert and the Spirit Beast clan behind him, it would be more convenient to walk in the immortal world in the future. Huafu, you have to follow Jiang Chun in the future and protect his safety. Huaxian turned his head and spoke to Huafu, but before he finished speaking, he felt that something was wrong. You two, there won't be any relationship, right? Huaxian's guess was not unreasonable. Jiang Chun had nothing to do with their Blazing Phoenix clan. Now, not only did he come here at the risk of danger, he even invited the great elder of the Heaven and Earth Pharmacy and immortal King Xianjun to help. These two people were famous figures in the immortal world and were not so easy to invite. And Jiang Chun spent so much effort, it was very likely that it was because of his daughter's face. Patriarch Huaxian, don't think too much. I helped Huafu because of a friend. Seeing that Huaxian had misunderstood, Jiang Chun quickly explained. Huafu, what about you? Huaxian asked. Huafu shook her head and did not speak. If it was before, she only followed Jiang Chun because he was the young master, and since she heard the voice of Jiang Chun and Bai Fengyu in the room, she had no interest in Jiang Chun. After all, she was the young miss of the Blazing Phoenix clan and the subordinate of Emperor Qinji. Not to mention, she had the cultivation of the 5th or 6th layer of the Immortal King realm. She was unwilling to share a man with other women. But now, Jiang Chun, for her family, desperately protected her. He even knew that he was not Hui Yuanba's opponent, but he still did his best to fight. Since then, Huafu had changed her view of Jiang Chun. Now that her father had mentioned the matter in her heart, she naturally did not want to face it, nor did she want to show it in front of Jiang Chun. Patriarch Huaxian, look, Sister Huafu is not interested in me. Don't say such things again in the future. Seeing that Huafu did not say anything, Jiang Chun heaved a sigh of relief. All right, I won't mention it in the future. Huaxian smiled and stopped talking about this matter. However, Huafu was his woman, and he, as a father, knew clearly what a woman was thinking. Jiang Chen's cultivation was not high, but the power behind him was not small. In the future, he would definitely become a celestial king. In that case, he would not mistreat his daughter. Thank you for your understanding, Patriarch Huaxian. Jiang Chen cupped his fists. Huaxian had just woken up, and his body had not fully recovered. After speaking for a while, he felt weak all over. Seeing this, Jiang Chun and the others quickly left, leaving him to rest in the room. Since he had woken up, there was no need to take care of him. Chapter 1771. In less than 2 days, Huixian restored the bathed flame phoenix clan to its previous state. Although he did not punish those who supported Hui Yuanba, he warned them and secretly sent people to watch them. He could forgive the first betrayal, but if there was a second time, he would kill them without hesitation. Huixian would never allow something like this to happen in the clan again. After dealing with these matters, Huixian placed his attention on Huafeng and the other two. Hui Yuanba had self-destructed. If he wanted to find out why they attacked him, he could only place his hopes on them. Moreover, after learning from Jiang Chun that he had been poisoned by a very strange poison, he wanted to get to the bottom of it. In his opinion, the bathed flame phoenix clan would never have anything to do with these evil beings. Now that something like this had happened in the clan, he had to get to the bottom of it. Otherwise, a similar situation might happen again in the clan. In the water prison, Huafeng and the other two were trapped inside. Their lower bodies were submerged in the water, and their bodies were bound by the phoenix binding chains, which prevented them from using their cultivation. In the darkness, they could feel the immortal energy fluctuations from Hui Yuanba's self-destruction. The three of you, we haven't seen each other for 500 years. I wonder if you still recognize me as the clan leader? When Huixian entered, the dark prison was instantly filled with light. The water receded. Huixian smiled as he looked at the three people at the end. Greetings, greetings, clan leader. The three of them stammered. Huafeng, from the moment you were born, I have treated you like my own son. Whatever treatment Huafu receives, you will receive the same treatment. Am I right? Huixian walked over, looked at Huafeng, and asked. You are right. Huafeng lowered her head, not daring to look at Huixian. Hu Liao Yuan, I handed the clan's armors to you because I had absolute trust in you. I'll let you protect the clan's safety. I didn't expect you to be one of the people who attacked me behind my back. How disappointing. Huixian walked to the side, looked at Hu Liao Yuan, and sighed. I'm sorry, clan leader. I was possessed and did such a thing. By the time I regretted it, it was already too late. Hu Liao Yuan replied in a low voice. Huidi, did I tell you that as long as you can establish meritorious service in the family, I will promote you to an elder? Huixian asked with a sneer. Many times, Fire Enemy replied. The three of you are people I trust very much. Huixian let out a long sigh. Tell me everything you know, and I can let you live. I can imprison you in the water prison forever. Otherwise, you know the methods. Patriarch, all of this was Hui Yuanba's idea. We were just following him. We didn't know anything else. Huidi's body trembled as he shouted. Really? Huixian asked. It's absolutely true. Father has never told us anything about this matter. The Fire Phoenix then said, Patriarch, if I'm lying, I'm willing to accept any punishment. Not bad. Now that Hui Yuanba has died from self-explosion, he left with all the secrets. As long as you guys are stubborn, you can get away with it, right? Forget it. If you don't want to talk about it, I won't give you a chance. Huixian shook his head. Immediately after, an aura burst out from his body. Patriarch, I'll talk. I'll tell you everything. Sensing that something was wrong, Hu Liao Yuan immediately shouted. However, when he spoke, it was already too late. Xianhua's aura bombarded their bodies without any fancy moves. At the moment of contact, their bodies became limp and even their souls were wiped out by this attack. Patriarch Huixian, just as the three of them died, Jiang Chun rushed in from outside. Young master, Huixian turned around. You can't kill the three of them. Hui Yuanba is hiding a very important secret. If you can find out, it will be very useful to me. Jiang Chun rushed in front of Huixian. Oh no! Huixian muttered to himself. Young master, I've already killed the three of them. Huixian knelt down on one knee and said helplessly, It's my fault for not thinking things through. I should have asked young master in advance. However, Jiang Chun's expression did not change. Instead, he bent down and helped Huixian up from the ground. Patriarch Huixian, you are the patriarch of the Bathed Flame Phoenix tribe and an expert in the 7th level of the Immortal King realm. How can you be so courteous to me? Calling me young master is already giving me face. But, although Huoxian was touched, he still felt guilty when he looked at the pillar. It's fine. Jiang Chun waved his hand gently. A rose appeared in his palm. He slowly closed his eyes. After a while, a strange fluctuation floated out from the flower. In a dizzying feeling, the three people who had just been killed by Huoxian came back to life. At this moment, the three of them looked very confused. When they were attacked, they had already been annihilated. However, it had now appeared and was beyond their understanding. The power of time? Huoxian's body trembled. He looked at the flower in Jiang Chen's hand in surprise. He had heard of such a strange ability, but had never seen it before. Huoxian had never thought that there would be a day when he would be qualified to see it with his own eyes. This could be said to be a top-notch ability. Even the three great immortal kings might not be qualified to have it. How does it feel? Jiang Chen asked as he put away the crepe myrtle flower while looking at them. Huoxian's eyes were dull. He did not understand what had happened. Could it be that Huoxian was just scaring them and did not have the intention to kill them? However, he had indeed sensed the powerful energy fluctuation. The three of them did not have the ability to resist it at all. Say it. You have just been killed by me. It was Jiang Chun who used the power of time that allowed you to come back to life. If you don't say it, you won't have any more chances, Huoxian said coldly. I'll say it. I'll say it. The three of them suddenly woke up and spoke at the same time. Why did Hui Yuanba attack clan leader Huoxian? Jiang Chen asked as he sat on the platform next to them. It goes back tens of thousands of years. Back then, when the clan leader ordered my father to go to the Green Python Heavenly Snake clan, my father lost an eye because of it. Since then, he has been holding a grudge. Huoxian knew about this. Hui Yuanba had mentioned it to him many times. It's that simple? Huoxian was a little surprised. In his memory, Hui Yuanba did not seem to be such a person. Later on, my father secretly went to the Green Python Heavenly Snake clan many times. Huoxian swallowed his saliva and continued. Chapter 1772. Green Python Heavenly Snake? Jiang Chun had heard of this clan before, but he had never interacted with them. This clan is the natural enemy of our Bathing Flame Phoenix clan. We've been fighting for tens of thousands of years. I seized the opportunity and thought that Hui Yuanba could get rid of them in one fell swoop. It's my fault for not investigating properly, causing him to fall into a trap. He paid the price of an eye and lost several immortal monarch experts in the clan. However, Hui Yuanba should hate them. Why would he work together with them? Huoxian felt that something was amiss. He had been with Hui Yuanba since he was born. It had been at least 100,000 years. He knew Hui Yuanba very well. It was impossible for him to work together with the Green Python Heavenly Snake. This was even less likely than plotting against him. I don't know about the rest, but my father has been close to the Green Python Heavenly Snake clan's leader for the past 10,000 years. They would meet once every 100 years. Huofeng shook her head. Now that her father had died from self-detonation and the Bathing Flame Phoenix clan was no longer in his hands, there was no point in keeping these secrets. She might as well tell them directly. Perhaps she could get a way out. What are they planning? Huoxian frowned. I don't know. My father has never mentioned it to me. Huofeng immediately answered without thinking. However, 500 years ago, my father suddenly wanted to attack you after meeting the leader of the Green Python Heavenly Snake clan. I tried to persuade him, but he didn't listen. He even dragged Huo Liaoyuan and Hui Di into this. That's right. Huo Liaoyuan immediately agreed and said, at that time, we only knew that Hui Yuanba had some complaints about you, Patriarch. When we heard that he wanted to attack you, we were quite afraid. However, when he said that he was completely confident that he could pull you down from your position, we believed him. What about you? Don't you have anything to say? Huoxian looked at Hui Di. They're telling the truth. Hui Yuanba promised me again and again. Hui Di said in a low voice, I'll believe you one more time. If you dare to lie to me again, I won't kill you. Looking at their expressions, Huoxian nodded. I'll let you suffer the most painful torture in the immortal world. After saying this, Huixian turned around and left the water prison. As soon as Jiang Chen followed him out, the water dungeon became dark again. The water that had retreated also surged back up. The three of them were still soaked in the water. Huixian, who had just left the water prison, didn't hesitate at all. He gathered all of the Flame Phoenix clan's experts in front of Jiang Chen. This was the first time Jiang Chen had seen them reveal their full power since he had arrived here. The cultivation of the leaders of the tribes was around the first tier of the Immortal King realm. Apart from these experts, there were 7 to 8 immortal monarchs. As for the immortal venerables, they were standing in front of Huixian. There were at least 20 to 30 of them, as expected of one of the 6 great spiritual beast clans. Seeing this force, Jiang Chen couldn't help but click his tongue. If they were to compete head-on, even the Kunlun Celestial Mountain might not be able to compare. However, the reason why the Bathed in Fire Phoenix clan was so strong was because the spiritual chi of heaven and earth in the southern region was very abundant. If the Kunlun Celestial Mountain was built in the southern region, the 9 mountain masters would have already entered the Immortal King realm. I just received news that the former Great Elder, Hui Yuanba, joined forces with the Heavenly Green Python to secretly attack me. Looking at the group of people standing in front of him, Huixian put his hands behind his back and said in a deep voice, "Now that I'm in charge of the entire clan again, I'll definitely not allow something like this to happen again. Within 3 days, I'll make the Heavenly Green Python clan leader kneel before me and submit." Roar! Roar! Everyone raised their fists and echoed loudly. "Let's go!" Huixian shouted. His entire body turned into a crimson stream of light and rushed out of the barrier. The experts did not hesitate and followed closely behind. "Let's not go." Muyid sat on the steps. Now that most of the Bathed in Fire Phoenix clan had left, it was time for him to make some more money. Otherwise, it would be a loss for him to only take away a little after coming here for so long. "Don't talk nonsense." Seeing that Huifu was also leaving, Jiang Chen grabbed Muyid's arm and brought him out of the Bathed in Fire Phoenix clan's barrier. Western part of the southern region. This was the habitat of the Heavenly Green Python clan, and also the place where their clan lived. Unlike the Bathed in Fire Phoenix clan who lived in the valley and were enveloped by the fire barrier, the Heavenly Green Python clan lived in a huge water plain. Although there were similar sect buildings, the environment was extremely humid. Ordinary people could not withstand it at all. It's said that an accident happened in the Bathed in Fire Phoenix clan. A skinny old man stood in the hall and reported to a burly man who was walking at the head of the group. The exposed skin of these 2 people was greenish-black in color. If one were to look carefully, one would be able to see extremely faint snake scale patterns hidden on their skin, causing one's scalp to turn numb. Oh, it's been 500 years. What accident could have happened? The man was the clan leader of the Heavenly Green Python clan, Cho Su. He was the only person in the clan who had reached the Immortal King realm. It's said that Huifu returned to the southern region and brought back a person called Jiang Chen. He was the son of Wan Cheng, the former young master of the 10,000 Creations Immortal Sect, the old man continued. 10,000 Creations Immortal Sect. This sect has long ceased to exist. How much trouble can a young master cause? Cho Su sneered, got up and stretched his body. He walked in front of the old man and said, "Remember, as long as Huixian doesn't appear, our plan will not fail. Then I'll go and urge Hui Yuanba to find Huixian's whereabouts." The old man nodded and was about to walk out. It's been 500 years. If he could be found, it wouldn't have dragged on until now. Let him deal with it himself. Anyway, if he messes up that lord's plans, I think he knows the consequences. Cho Su narrowed his eyes. Ever since Huixian was seriously injured, this was the most comfortable period of his life. The overall strength of the Heavenly Green Python clan was weaker than that of the Bathed in Fire Phoenix clan. With the birth of the talented Huixian, the gap between the strength of the 2 clans had widened. However, Huixian's fate was unknown. The strongest person in the Bathed in Fire Phoenix clan was only Hui Yuanba, who was in the 2nd stage of the Immortal King realm. There was almost no gap between them. "Huixian, don't blame me. Who asked you to try and destroy our heavenly green python clan time and time again? Otherwise, I wouldn't have roped in Hui Yuanba, and you wouldn't have ended up like this. Cho Su sat back on the chair, picked up a cup of tea, and drank it in one gulp. Chapter 1773. After drinking the tea, Cho Su was about to go see the beautiful girls that his clansmen had captured from some villages in the southern region. But when he got up, his body suddenly trembled and the cup in his hand fell to the ground. However, he couldn't hear the crisp sound of the explosion at all, because in his perception, a very hot and familiar aura was approaching the water plains of the Green Python Heavenly Snake Clan. Clan leader, it seems that Hui Yuanba has arrived. That's strange. He knows that they were stolen. Why is he so arrogant now? Has he found Hui Xian's whereabouts and even killed him? Is that why he's so fearless? At the entrance of the hall, Guardian Cho Li strode in. No, this aura is definitely not Hui Yuanba. Cho Su lowered his head and looked at his right hand that was trembling uncontrollably. It was a fear that came from the depths of his soul. It was his instinctive reaction. Could it be Hui Xian? Cho Li realized that something was wrong with the clan leader and reacted instantly. Whether it's Hui Xian or not, we can't let our guard down. Cho Su slapped his right hand hard and quickly ordered, "Tell all clansmen above the immortal venerable level to put down what they're doing and reinforce the heavenly python array. This aura is here to cause trouble." "Yes, clan leader," Cho Li replied with a gloomy look. In less than a few minutes, there was a burst of extraordinary energy in the water plane. Dozens of green and black light beams gathered in the air. Soon, a boundary appeared. The boundary that covered the entire water plains had a faint image of a sky-devouring python entrenched in it. It was the remnant shadow of their ancestor, an 8th-level immortal venerable expert from the immortal world. The heavenly python array was the only immortal technique passed down from their ancestor. It was a pity. Ever since that supreme powerhouse fell, the heaven-devouring giant python's race gradually declined. After millions of years, it was passed down to Cho Su. Although it could still be considered one of the 6 great spirit beast races, it was already at the bottom. The entire clan had fallen from the sky-devouring python clan to the green python heavenly snake clan. If there was any relationship between the current clan and the previous one, it might be that both clans had the word python in their names. Under the reinforcement of many experts, the shadow of the sky-devouring python gradually grew larger. In the end, the python's body almost covered the entire water source. Only then did they relax. It really is fire profound. The array was strengthened, but Cho Su's expression did not relax. The aura was getting closer and closer to him, and he could sense it more clearly. In the entire immortal realm, Hui Xian was probably the only one who could give him such pressure. What the hell is Hui Yuanba doing? Cho Su slapped the wall and cursed in a low voice. Didn't they say that Hui Xian was seriously injured and was hiding? How could he appear in the vicinity of the family? Moreover, he doesn't seem to be injured at all. Leave the clan immediately and head to the Bathing Phoenix clan to ask Hui Yuanba. Cho Su pointed at the clansmen who were standing next to him and ordered loudly. Also, ask Hui Yuanba to bring his men and come to our aid immediately. A 7th-stage celestial king is no longer someone we can resist. Just as the clansmen nodded and left, Cho Su's perception became even clearer. He knew that Hui Xian was standing several hundred meters above him. Above the barrier, Hui Xian stood in front of everyone. "Clan leader Hui Xian, why did you stop?" Jiangchen caught up and asked while looking at the vast water plain below. "Young master, we have already arrived at the territory of the heavenly green python." Hui Xian smiled with his hands behind his back. The water plain below is where they live. However, the entire clan is now hidden in the barrier. If you don't believe me, please take a look. After saying that, Hui Xian stretched out his palm. Accompanied by the appearance of a phoenix phantom, the phoenix spat out a breath. Buzz! Just as the attack was about to reach the water plane, it suddenly disappeared in midair. Faintly, the outline of the barrier appeared. It seems that they have sensed it in advance. Jiang Chen raised his eyebrows. Yes, Cho Su is very familiar with my immortal chi fluctuations. Moreover, the heavenly green python has an excellent innate perception. Huixian nodded. Father, don't waste time here. Let's break through their barrier and make the heavenly green python completely disappear from the southern region. Huofu leaped forward. She hated this clan to the core. If it weren't for them, her father wouldn't have suffered 500 years of grievances. Clan leader Cho Su, remove your heavenly green python array. Huixian looked down and said faintly. However, with the support of his immortal chi, his voice pierced through the barrier like an arrow and was transmitted inside. Clan leader. Choli stood at the side and asked with clenched fists. Clan leader Huixian, this barrier was created by the ancient ancestor of our heavenly green python. Even if you are a 7th-layer immortal king, you can't force your way in. You should go back. Don't waste your efforts. Cho Su replied as he looked at the densely packed figures above the barrier. He wasn't a fool. Once the barrier was opened, with the current strength of the heavenly green python, they would definitely not be a match for the Blazing Phoenix clan. Huixian alone was enough to make them suffer. Father, Huofu gritted her teeth. The phantom of the 7-colored phoenix had already appeared behind her. As long as Huixian said the word, she would immediately rush down. Don't worry. Huixian stretched out his hand to stop her. If clan leader Huixian really wants to talk to us, please come in. I promise you that we won't do anything to you. Cho Su continued to speak loudly. Okay. Open the barrier. Huixian nodded without hesitation. Clan leader, you can't do that. The heavenly green python is extremely sinister. Now, they have made preparations in advance. If you enter, you may be ambushed by them. As soon as Huixian agreed, dozens of experts came forward and persuaded him. Young master, let's go in and have a look. Huixian ignored them. Instead, he turned his head to look at Jiang Chun and asked with a smile, although the heavenly green python is the enemy of our Blazing Phoenix clan, due to some laws, I can't destroy them. Of course, Jiang Chun agreed readily. However, Huixian's words made him ponder carefully. When he asked Bai Xinling for help, Bai Xinling also said that due to the laws and regulations, she couldn't do anything. She could only help to investigate. Could it be that the current immortal world was completely different from the immortal world that he knew? Could it have undergone earth-shaking changes when he left? However, looking at Kunlun Immortal Mountain, it didn't seem to be any different from when he left. Seeing that her father insisted on going, and Jiang Chen agreed, Huofu was a little anxious. These were the two most important men in her life. Now, they were going to take risks at the same time. Chapter 1774. What if something bad happened? Huofu did not dare to continue thinking. Huixian and Jiang Chun were opposed by everyone, and they both flew into the barrier. Huixian clan leader is really brave. Cho Su sneered. He waved his hand and opened a gap in the barrier. At the same time, he shouted loudly, Huofu, without my order, you and everyone in the clan will wait here. Don't move. Huixian's voice drifted into Huofu's ears before entering the boundary. They entered the boundary. Jiang Chen finally saw the real scene in the water plains. The scale of the Green Python Sky Snake clan was not weaker than the Blazing Phoenix clan. When they descended, Jiang Chen even saw the appearance of a few towns. Compared to the tribal system of the Blazing Phoenix clan, it was more like a place where humans lived. Huixian clan leader, it's been a long time. Cho Su looked at the man in a scarlet robe who landed in front of him and said with a gloomy expression, Cho Su, dismiss all your subordinates. If I want to kill them, they are no match for me. Huixian clapped his hands and said with a smile when he saw the Green Python Sky Snake clan members surrounding them. Cho Su waved his hand. The clan members scattered and left. Huixian clan leader, who is this? Cho Su looked at the thin man standing beside Huixian and glanced at Jiang Chen. However, he did not feel any familiarity from this person. Jiang Chen is our Bathing Fire Phoenix clan's benefactor. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be standing here today, and Hui Yuanba would still be in charge of my clan, Huixian didn't hide anything, and he patted Jiang Chen's shoulder as he spoke. "Greetings, Huixian clan leader." Jiang Chen cupped his hands pretentiously. "You are the son of the 10,000 vehicle immortal lord, right?" Cho Su took a deep breath. From Huixian's words, he could tell that the matter had been ruined by this brat. Could it be that Huixian clan leader and my father are old friends? Jiang Chen raised his head and asked. "No, we've only met a few times." Cho Su secretly gritted his teeth, his voice squeezing out. "Fire profound patriarch. Now that the trouble of your bathing flame phoenix race has been resolved, why aren't you handling your family's affairs? Why have you sent all your experts to my water plains? Let's talk inside." Huixian lifted his foot and walked into the hall. "Let them prepare." Watching Huixian enter the hall, Chiu Su whispered to Chiu Li beside him before following him in. "I haven't been here for tens of thousands of years." Looking at the scene in the hall, Huixian casually sat down on Chiu Su's seat. "Oh right, Patriarch Chiu Su. I heard from the people in the family that Hui Yuanba seems to be very close to you." "Indeed. Ever since I fought with him, I found that his personality is very suitable. He can be considered a good friend. However, due to the relationship between our two families, we can only communicate secretly." Cho Su knew that since Huixian had come here, he must have known something. If he were to continue to pretend that he didn't know anything, he would be in a passive position. If it wasn't for the conflict between our ancestors, our two families should be brothers. Huixian clicked his tongue and sighed. Then he patted the table and said, "Men, I, the dignified patriarch of the bathed flame phoenix clan, have come here. Don't tell me that you didn't even prepare wine?" Outside the hall, the clansmen looked at each other in dismay. They thought that Huixian had brought his men here to eliminate their green python heavenly snake clan with their strength. But now, it seemed like they were here as guests. "What are you waiting for? Didn't you hear that Patriarch Huixian wants to drink wine? Quickly go to the town and get some wine." Seeing that the clansmen outside were unmoved, Cho Su berated loudly. The clansmen quickly nodded and left. "Ha! Patriarch Cho Su, I didn't expect that after tens of thousands of years, your family has already developed a town. I think it's no different from the human activity areas in the northern and eastern regions." Huixian laughed when he heard Cho Su's words. "Our green python heavenly snake clan has never been complacent. We've always been improving. Now, our relationship with the other forces is pretty good. The one who sat here with you yesterday is a half-step immortal king from the eastern region." Cho Su replied, "Are you warning me?" Huixian raised his eyebrows. "Of course not. Patriarch Huixian is a 7th-level immortal king. He's second to none among the 6 great spirit beast clans. How would I dare to warn you?" Cho Su quickly explained. "That's good. Fortunately, Patriarch Cho Su explained in time. Otherwise, my Phoenix Phantom would have appeared." Huixian touched his hair and said with a smile. Cho Su kept his mouth shut. Who was trying to warn who? Soon, the wine was brought in by the clansmen. Huixian opened his stomach and drank in big mouthfuls. Cho Su was a little confused by this action. At first, he thought that Huixian was here to cause trouble. So, he strengthened the barrier and asked all the experts in the clan to lie in ambush. He was ready to gather the strength of the entire clan to kill Huixian when he came in alone. But now, Huixian had only mentioned it openly and secretly. He did not have the slightest intention to take action. Naturally, Cho Su did not dare to act rashly. No matter what, Huixian's strength was obvious. If he could avoid offending him, it was better not to. "What a good wine!" Huixian pursed the corner of his mouth and praised. "If Patriarch Huixian likes it, I'll give you some when we go back." Cho Su's eyes were gloomy as he carefully observed Huixian's every move. He tried to analyze his true intentions for coming here today. "No problem, but a little less will do. Now that Hui Yuanba has self-destructed, I can't bear to let the other clansmen drink it. Another pot will be enough." Huixian picked up the wine pot and waved it in front of Cho Su. "What? Hui Yuanba self-destructed?" As soon as these words came out, Cho Su could not suppress the shock in his heart. He instantly stood up and asked with a frown, "Sai, it really hurts. Huixian shook his head and sighed. I asked his son. He said that Hui Yuanba and you joined forces to attack me. I guess he was afraid of my methods and decided to die. By the way, Jiang Chun, don't you have the power of time? Go back and revive Hui Yuanba. Maybe you can get some interesting things about Patriarch Cho Su from him. Huixian said to Jiang Chun with a smile as he spoke. No problem. Jiang Chun nodded and agreed. If Huixian had not mentioned it, Jiang Chun would have forgotten that he could use the rose to distort the power of time to revive Hui Yuanba. At that time, Hui Yuanba's self-destruction was too shocking. Jiang Chun was thinking about asking Bai Xianling to save Ikari. Hence, he forgot about it. Even when he revived Hua Feng and the other two in the water prison, he did not remember it at all. Chapter 1775. The Power of Time. Cho Su's pupils shrank. How could an ability that was above all immortal techniques and bloodline appear in the body of a brat at the 5th layer of the Heaven Immortal Realm? Even if his father was Wan Cheng, he was just an immortal monarch. Cho Su glanced back and forth between Jiang Chun and Huixian. He found that Jiang Chun didn't look like he was lying. Huixian was even more confident. It was impossible for him to lie to him. Patriarch Cho Su, why are you standing up? Huixian smiled faintly and asked, Do you think I will believe you? Cho Su glanced sideways at Huixian. Hui Yuanba had died, and the Bathing Phoenix clan had returned to Huixian's hands. This was still acceptable. It was just that his 1,000 years of planning had been in vain. However, if he could revive Hui Yuanba with the power of time. If Hui Yuanba couldn't bear it and revealed everything, then he would be a living dead. Green Python Heavenly Snake Clan, listen to my order. Kill Huixian and Jiang Chun in the barrier at all costs. Even if half of the clan is buried with them, it must be done. Cho Su pondered for a moment with a gloomy expression. His figure flashed and landed outside the hall. Then he issued the order. As soon as his voice faded, hundreds of immortal venerables and above gathered behind him. Standing on his left and right were two experts at the 3rd layer of the Immortal King realm. He's anxious. Huixian threw away the wine pot in his hand and said to Jiang Chun, Patriarch Huixian, can you deal with them with your own strength? Jiang Chun frowned slightly. This kind of battle wasn't something he could take part in. Not only can I deal with them, but I can also protect your safety. Huixian stood up. At the same time, a huge phantom of a phoenix emerged behind him. The hall collapsed the moment it came into contact with the phantom. Looking at the seemingly real phoenix in front of him, Jiang Chun still felt the pressure even though he wasn't a member of the Bathing Flame Phoenix clan. Even with Hua Fu's strength at the Immortal Monarch realm, her phantom was like a little chick in front of Huixian. King's slaying formation. Seeing that Xianhua had no intention of holding back, Xianhua laughed. Cho Su slapped his chest and slowly pulled out a long sword that was shaped like a bone and covered with green scales from between his skin and flesh. He raised his sword above his head and roared. 4 pillars of light suddenly rose around Huixian's position. The pillar of light rushed into the barrier and scattered like fireworks, trapping Huixian within. Of course, Jiang Chun, who was standing inside, was also trapped. What the hell? Looking at this situation, Jiang Chun couldn't help but curse. Can't you give me some time to react before the formation appears? King's slaying formation. It's a formation that can even kill an immortal king. I've risked my life just to raise my cultivation base to immortal venerable for a short period of time. Wouldn't I die without a burial place in this formation? An ancient immortal king's array formation. Who would have thought that the heavenly green python was actually connected to one of the 3 great immortal kings? Huixian stared at his eyes and said in a low voice, An ancient immortal king? Jiang Chun turned his head to look at him and asked, Is he also one of the 3 great immortal kings? Yes, together with the white-robed immortal king and Xianjun immortal king. They are the 3 great immortal kings of the immortal world. This person is extremely proficient in barriers, formations, and spells. He can be said to be the best in the immortal world. This king's slaying formation is one of his immortal formations. It's said that tens of thousands of years ago, He once killed a fifth-layer Immortal King expert. Huaxian's expression was not as relaxed as before. He had never heard that the heavenly green python was related to an ancient Immortal King. If he knew, he wouldn't have brought Jiang Chen in without permission. But now that he thought about it, Cho Su must have some confidence to break the barrier while withstanding the pressure of a seventh-layer Immortal King. Can we get out? Jiang Chen's immortal power circulated crazily. It's very difficult. But if you want to kill me with this king slaying formation, the outside world is looking down on my strength too much. Huaxian's expression was solemn as he clapped his hands. A scarlet immortal power separated from the Phoenix Phantom and attached itself to Jiang Chen's side. Huaxian, don't think too highly of yourself. Although you're strong, you're still a little weak in front of an ancient Immortal King. By the way, I forgot to tell you that the one sitting in your position a while ago was an ancient Immortal King's personal disciple. Standing outside the formation, Cho Su looked at Huaxian, ancestors of the flame-bathing phoenix race. Please lend me your strength temporarily. Let me break through this needle technique. Huaxian lowered his head and muttered to himself. As his voice rang out, a red mark suddenly appeared on his forehead. Immediately after, the cry of a phoenix sounded. Jiang Chen could clearly see that the Phoenix Phantom behind Huaxian had completely materialized. Each feather was flowing with a seven-colored light, which was extremely majestic and pure immortal power. King slaying, Huaxian's aura was rising steadily. Cho Su couldn't hold it in anymore and directly swung the longsword in his hand. Immediately after, streaks of terrifying waterfalls poured down from the top of the formation. Screech! With another cry, the phoenix flapped its wings forward and blocked above Huaxian and Jiang Chen's heads. The attacks hit the phoenix's back, but the moment they came into contact, they were immediately rebounded. However, these attacks didn't disappear. After they came into contact with the barrier, they were rebounded again. A few seconds later, a waterfall directly hit Huaxian's chest. Huaxian's expression didn't change at all when he took the hit. However, he knew in his heart that he could withstand one or two strikes, but there were tens of thousands of them in the formation. If he really took all of them, he would probably be seriously injured even if he didn't die. Ah, is this the patriarch of the Blazing Phoenix clan? Cho Su looked at the situation inside the barrier and couldn't help but laugh. In order to maintain the formation, he had asked all the experts in the clan to come out and gather the strength of the entire clan. Not to mention Huaxian, even the three great immortal kings could be trapped for a while. If I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have tried to be a hero. Jiang Chen looked at Huaxian helplessly. I heard from Huafu that you have 7 different attributes of immortal power in your body, right? The moment Jiang Chen spoke, Huaxian suddenly turned his head and looked at him. Yes. Jiang Chen nodded in agreement. The more attributes of immortal power in our Blazing Phoenix clan, the more we can unleash the power of our bloodline. Unfortunately, I have cultivated for hundreds of thousands of years, but I only have 5 attributes in my body. The light and dark attributes can't be fused together no matter what. Huaxian sighed and shook his head. You may need a fusion method of Emperor Qianji, Jiang Chen said in his heart. Young master, please lend me the light and dark attribute immortal power in your body. After sighing, Huaxian said in a deep voice. Chapter 1776. No problem. Jiang Chen didn't hesitate and immediately mobilized the immortal power in his body. A moment later, 2 types of immortal power, one bright and one dark, flowed through his arm and gradually entered Huaxian's body. Huaxian's eyes became crazed when he felt a sense of fullness that he had never felt before. The moment the celestial energy entered his body, even the aura of the phoenix above him became even more majestic. Pure white light burst out from its body, and there were even strands of black, celestial energy on the surface of its body. They appeared abruptly like lightning, and then quietly disappeared. Phoenix cry fist. Huaxian roared. Accompanied by the cry of the phoenix, his fist landed on the array without any fancy moves. An invisible wave spread out, and the waterfalls within the array were all shattered by the impact. The barrier trembled for a moment, then disappeared with a bang. The moment the barrier disappeared, hundreds of heavenly serpent green experts vomited blood and fell to the ground. Even Cho Su, who was holding a long sword, paled. Impossible! The array of an ancient immortal king, and the power of my entire clan. How could it be shattered by a single punch? Cho Su's expression was a little sluggish, and he couldn't react. Xianhua walked towards Cho Su. The phoenix gradually turned illusory and disappeared behind him. When he was in front of Cho Su, he kicked him in the face. Hua Xian stepped on Cho Su's chest and said with narrowed eyes, "Cho Su, if it weren't for the laws of the spiritual beast clans in the southern region, I would make your heavenly serpent green clan completely disappear from the immortal world today." "Why?" Cho Su was confused. "Get up." Hua Xian bent down, grabbed him by the collar, and pulled him up. "Although I can't make your heavenly serpent green clan completely disappear, I can teach your clan leader a lesson." Hua Xian dragged Cho Su to the side. Jiang Chen quietly followed behind. A moment later, as the experts were injured, the barrier in the sky couldn't hold on any longer. The giant python slowly turned transparent, and the situation below was revealed. Seeing the mess, Hua Fu and the others did not hesitate and immediately rushed down. However, the Green Python Heavenly Snake clan was no longer able to stop them. The ordinary clansmen with weaker cultivation or no cultivation at all fled in all directions, hiding under the water plains or hiding in the towns, not daring to show their faces. "Father, are you injured?" Seeing that Hua Xian's complexion was somewhat pale, Hua Fu hurriedly stepped forward and asked, "I'm not injured. It's just that I used up quite a bit of immortal power. That's why I'm feeling a little weak." Hua Xian shook his head. "Are you all right?" Fire Lotus asked Jiang Chen. "Nothing happened to me." Jiang Chen smiled. "I didn't expect that the heavenly green python would be related to one of the three immortal kings, the ancient immortal king. In other words, the ancient immortal king might be related to the Black Sky Emperor." Black Sky Emperor? Hua Fu didn't know the condition of Hua Xian's body. "I'll explain it to you when I have the chance." Jiang Chen waved his hand and said. After calming down for a while, Hua Xian asked the people in his family to bring all the green python and sky snake heavenly snake that had attacked here. He sat on a rock and looked at the confused Cho Su in front of him. "Tell me, why did you team up with Hua Yuanba to deal with me? What is the poison in my body? Why can't I wake up after my injuries have healed? What's the relationship between you and the Black Sky Emperor?" Hua Xian frowned and asked. "You don't have to ask. I won't tell you." Cho Su shook his head. "You won't tell me?" Hua Xian knew that Cho Su would be like this, so he didn't continue to ask. Instead, he turned to the two clan leaders behind him and said, "Take Cho Su back and lock him in the water prison. Release him when he wants to talk." "Aren't you afraid that I'll self-destruct?" Cho Su's expression was fierce. "It's up to you. In any case, Jiang Chen has the power of time, and no matter how many times you self-destruct, he can still make you appear before me once again. If you can bear the pain of self-destruction, you can give it a try." Upon hearing this, Hua Xian chuckled. "You?" Cho Su was speechless as he looked at Jiang Chen. However, he also knew that if he told Hua Xian the truth, their Green Python Heavenly Snake clan would definitely fall into a state of eternal damnation. After all, before that lord, even if they were one of the 6 great spirit beasts, they couldn't resist. "Take him away. If you don't tell him now, you can tell him later." Hua Xian didn't waste time and waved his hand at the two clan leaders. After Cho Su was taken away, Hua Xian looked at his clansmen and said indifferently, "The Flame Phoenix clan and the Green Python Heavenly Snake clan have been enemies for hundreds of thousands of years. I'm not a clan leader who likes to fight and kill. As long as you don't do anything to my Flame Phoenix clan in the future, I can guarantee that I won't hurt you." Hearing Hua Xian's words, no one dared to speak. "Very good." Hua Xian nodded with satisfaction. After glancing around, he flew in the direction of the Flame Phoenix clan. Everyone followed behind him. After everyone left, this group of Green Python and Heaven Snake clansmen finally let out a sigh of relief. Those who had been seriously injured but had been holding on all this time vomited blood again. Some even fell to the side, gasping for air. Everyone, let's set up the barrier first. Then, go back and recuperate. Now that the clan leader has been captured, we can't just sit and wait for death. We'll make plans after your injuries have healed. Choli stood up with his hand on the wall. When the barrier was broken, he was one of the most seriously injured people. If the clan leader hadn't been captured and the clan didn't need him to support it, he would have fainted when Huoxian left. Okay. Hundreds of people nodded in unison and scattered. Flame Phoenix Clan. After Cho Su was brought back, he was directly sent to the water prison. He saw Huofeng and the others who were imprisoned in the water prison. Clan leader Cho. Huofeng and the other two were shocked when they saw him. They thought they were hallucinating because they had been imprisoned in the water prison for too long. Did your father really self-destruct? Cho Su spat out a mouthful of blood and asked with gritted teeth. Yes. Huofeng nodded. She couldn't hold back her curiosity and asked, Clan leader Cho, why are you in prison here? Did clan leader Huoxian bring people to your green python, heavenly snake clan? This has nothing to do with you. Don't ask what you shouldn't ask. This was the most embarrassing thing Cho Su had ever encountered in his life. He didn't want to mention it again. He even wanted to self-destruct and die. However, thinking about Jiang Qin's power of time, even if he self-destructed, it would be useless. He would only suffer the pain of his body expanding and exploding. Chapter 1777. Just as he was thinking about the power of time, Jiang Qin arrived at the spot where Hui Yuanba had self-destructed. The rose appeared once again. Jiang Qin's mind moved, and the space in front of him fluctuated. Huoxian clenched his fist. He knew that Hui Yuanba would definitely tell him the truth. By then, he would know He Tiandi's true intentions. However, when the power of time enveloped the entire space, nothing happened. Is it because you consumed too much immortal power in the Green Python Heavenly Snake Clan, and now you need to rest? Huoxian was a little surprised. After all, he had seen Jiang Chun resurrecting Huofeng and the other two in the dungeon. There's a problem with Hui Yuanba's self-destruction. I can't resurrect him. Jiang Chun shook his head and said directly, There's a problem? Huoxian frowned. He was unconscious at that time and didn't know the situation here. However, he had seen cultivators above immortal monarchs self-destruct. According to his understanding, the power of time could directly distort the time in this space. Even if it had been 10,000 years since the self-destruction, as long as the caster's cultivation was enough, it could be distorted back. Jiang Qin tried again. Seeing that nothing appeared in front of him, he gave up. Clan leader Huoxian, Hui Yuanba's death might not be as simple as self-destruction. You mean? Huoxian instantly understood. I'm just guessing. I can't be sure. Jiang Qin took a deep breath and kept the rose. Forget it. If there's no way to resurrect him, then so be it. Huoxian patted Jiang Qin's shoulder and said, He has sinned against the entire Bathing Phoenix clan. Now that he has completely disappeared in the immortal world, it's his consequence. As long as Cho Su is here, there will be a time when the truth will be revealed. Clan leader Huoxian, do you think there are still immortal emperors in the immortal world? Jiang Chun withdrew all his immortal power. Why do you ask? Huoxian smiled. To tell you the truth, the leader of the Black Sect in the outer domain has been planning to take action against me. Now he has kidnapped my disciple. It seems that he is carrying out some secret operation. This person's aura is very similar to Black Sky King's. I suspect that the two may be related. Thinking that the Bathing Phoenix clan is now under the Qinji zone, and there is Huofu, Jiang Chun directly said the words in his heart. After all, Huoxian was a 7th-level immortal king. His understanding of the immortal world was definitely better than his. Let's talk in the main hall, Huoxian said in a low voice as he looked at his clansmen walking back and forth. Sitting on a chair, Huoxian thought carefully for a while. It's been a long time since an immortal emperor has appeared in the immortal realm. Even some newly ascended cultivators and newborns in the immortal realm know that the strongest experts are the immortal kings led by the 3 immortal kings. But if you say that the immortal emperor is completely extinct, the possibility is not very high. There are still many unknown areas in the immortal realm, including the outer domain where the black sex leader is located. These places, not to mention me, even the three immortal kings don't dare to rashly enter. Huaxian patted his thigh and said slowly, "The white-robed immortal king also said these words to me." Jiang Chun sighed slightly. "Your current strength is still very weak. There are some things that even if I tell you, you may not be able to understand." Huaxian looked at Jiang Chun and continued, "However, with your talent, you will become an immortal king sooner or later. At that time, your strength might be higher than mine. The things that you don't understand now will all have an answer." Immortal king. The corner of Jiang Chen's mouth twitched. Thinking that Hikari was still in the hands of the black sex leader, Jiang Chun was a little anxious. Fortunately, whether it was the white-robed immortal king or Su Qian, they were both helping him investigate this matter. It wouldn't be long before they found new clues. "You want to quickly increase your cultivation base?" Looking at Jiang Chun, Huaxian vaguely understood his thoughts. "Of course." Jiang Chun nodded firmly. "Why did the three immortal kings attack my father, and the relationship between the black sex leader and the black sky emperor?" And Jiang Chun stopped halfway through his words. Also, he wanted to find his mother's whereabouts. However, he couldn't tell Huaxian this. After Jiang Chun shut up, Huaxian didn't continue. The only thing he was curious about was why Jiang Chun could still have such a good relationship with the white-robed immortal king when Wan Cheng was suppressed by the three immortal kings back then. He could even ask the other party to help resolve the crisis of the Flame Phoenix clan. Also, who doesn't want to become the strongest in the immortal realm? After a pause, Jiang Chun continued, "I have an idea." Huaxian scratched his face, took out a scroll from his robe, and placed it in front of Jiang Chun. "According to the method on this scroll, you can become a member of our Flame Phoenix clan and have the qualification to be reborn. At the same time, you will also be recognized by the Origin Flame. It can increase my cultivation base?" Jiang Chun stared at the scroll for a while. Except for the pattern of phoenix feathers drawn on it, the whole scroll looked very simple and ordinary. If it was thrown on the ground, no one would pick it up. Of course it can. You have to know that no matter what fortuitous encounter you had in the lower realm before, it's not as good as the immortal realm. Huaxian immediately roared with laughter when he heard this. You possess immortal force of 7 different elements within your body, or perhaps even more. If you utilize the ancestral force with your foundation, then you'll be even stronger than me. That phoenix shadow? Thinking of the huge phoenix shadow behind Huaxian and Huafu, Jiang Chun suddenly became interested. Of course, with the help of the ancestral power of our Flame Phoenix clan, the strength you can display will be even stronger. As he spoke, Huaxian's tone suddenly sank. However, you are not a member of my clan. If you want to integrate the bloodline of my clan, you will have to pay a price. Don't you just have to follow this? Jiang Chun pointed at the scroll. That's just the method. Huaxian waved the scroll and said, "No problem, clan leader Huaxian, just do it. I can't remember the suffering I have suffered. This price is nothing." Jiang Chun took a deep breath and agreed directly. As long as he could increase his strength in a normal way, no matter how much pain he had to endure, he could accept it. Really? Huaxian's eyes suddenly lit up, and he held his hands together excitedly. How can it be fake? Jiang Chun did not know why Huaxian's reaction was so big, but he nodded again. I need to increase my strength and save my disciple. Okay, I will go and prepare. Within a week, you will become a member of our Flame Phoenix clan and have the power of our bloodline. Huaxian laughed loudly again. Chapter 1778. 7 days later, Jiang Chun saw the ancestral fire in the huge secret chamber below the main hall. Just like the cursed fire that Hui Yuanba wanted to extract from Huafu, it was burning in the spring water. However, it did not have the evil aura but was full of vitality. Standing around the spring water, Huafu's face was red. Is it very hot? Feeling the scorching temperature around him, Jiang Chun asked in a low voice. Don't talk nonsense. Huafu did not look at Jiangchun. Instead, she moved her body and kept a certain distance from him. However, the blush on her face did not recede at all. Instead, it became more intense. Jiangchun took a deep breath. He had already read the contents of the scroll. It was almost the same as what he knew in the lower realm. It was nothing more than using the ancestral fire of the origin flame to wash his blood into the blood of the flame phoenix tribe. Although it would be very painful for an outsider to do it, he did not know how many times he had experienced this kind of pain, so he did not take it to heart at all. Jiangchun, are you ready? After bowing to the dozens of clan leaders' tokens and informing them, Huaxian turned around with the scroll in his hand and asked with his hands behind his back. I'm ready at any time. Jiangchun nodded and answered in a deep voice. Enter the ancestral fire. Huaxian pointed to the spring water and said, the ancestral fire will first burn away the impurities in your body and then merge your blood with the flame phoenix tribe's bloodline power. The process is very painful. According to the clan records, only less than 5 people have done it. Even 2 of them could not make it and died here. Ah! Jiangchun shuddered. Although the surrounding temperature was scorching, he actually felt a trace of coldness. It's not too late to regret now. Huaxian's expression did not change. I have never regretted it in my life. Jiangchun's lips curled into a confident smile. After taking off his coat, he jumped into the spring wearing only the clothes that covered his triangular area. As soon as he went in, he sensed a hot air. Jiangchun felt like he was being boiled. His skin turned red instantly. The heat penetrated his skin and started to invade his flesh, organs, meridians, and even his bones. It kept invading his body. Not bad. Seeing Jiangchun's normal expression, Huaxian smiled with satisfaction. As expected of the young master chosen by Emperor Qianji, Huaquan said. However, after he finished speaking, he and Huaxian looked at each other and revealed an unusual smile. Huaxian took 2 steps forward and patted Muyuda's arm. Kid, get out. You can't watch what's about to happen. No, I have to stay here and guard him. You said it yourself. 5 people went in, but only 3 came out alive. If he's in any danger, I have to help. Muyud shook his head firmly. Take him out. Huaxian could not explain, so he could only ask Huaquan. Under Huaquan's tug, Muyud was dragged out of the secret room. Xiaofu, are you ready? Huaxian took a deep breath, looked at his daughter, and asked softly. Yes. Huafu's face was red. Go in and take care of Jiangchun. In the future, he will not only be the young master of Tianji's sect, but also your husband. If his life is in danger, take him out immediately. I will do my best to protect his cultivation. Huaxian carefully looked at Huafu, put down the scroll in his hand, and strode out of the secret room. When he opened the door, Muyud wanted to take the opportunity to rush in. However, Huaxian grabbed him by the collar and dragged him outside. Gritting her teeth, Huafu looked at Jiangchun, who was soaking in the ancestral fire. She gently untied her belt, and her clothes slid down from her smooth skin. Naked, she stepped into the spring with her slender jade legs and sat down face to face with Jiangchun. A moment after Huafu came in, Jiangchun clearly felt that the blazing temperature had slowed down a bit. It was not as unbearable as before. He opened his eyes and was ready to tell Huaxian about his feelings. However, when he opened his eyes, Jiangchun saw something that he should not have seen. He directly jumped up, closed his eyes, and held the edge firmly with both hands. Sister Huafu, what are you doing? If you want to take a bath, you can go somewhere else. This spring is too crowded. If you want to have the power of our Fire Phoenix clan's bloodline, you must be mediated by me. Otherwise, you won't be able to withstand the violent power. Even an immortal king may fall here. Huafu lowered her head, closed her eyes, and said softly, Then I don't want it. Jiangchun lifted his leg and was ready to step out. You already have the fire of origin in your body. If you don't go on, it will burn in your body all the time, absorbing your immortal power and cultivation. In the end, even your body and bones will be burned to ashes. Huafu continued to explain. Damn, Huaxian said that I have to pay a price, but I didn't say it was such a price. Jiangchun wanted to cry, but had no tears. Now he felt as if he had fallen into a den of thieves. The power of the bloodline had not yet been integrated into his blood, and he had already lost himself. Seeing Jiang Chen's appearance, Huafu opened her eyes and raised her eyebrows. The successive rejections made her think that Jiang Chen was rejecting her and even looking down on her. Slap! Huafu raised her hand and slapped Jiang Chen on the chest. If you don't want to die, continue. Otherwise, I'll go out now and leave you alone. Jiang Chen sat back down obediently. Losing his virginity was a small matter, but if he really lost his life, it would be really troublesome. The two of them gradually quieted down. Under the blazing temperature, the two of them sat face to face in such a way. There was a strange atmosphere in the air. The blazing temperature was still raging in Jiang Chen's body. Even when the fire of origin entered his body, the pain made him clench his teeth and his nails dig into his palms. However, when Huafu's palm was placed on Jiang Chen's body, it was as if a basin of cold water had suddenly been poured over his head. It made Jiang Chen regain a trace of calmness, and the blazing temperature also reduced a little. As the blood in Jiang Chen's body was cleansed little by little, the temperature continued to rise. At the beginning, Huafu only put her palm on Jiang Chen's chest, and then she shrank her body and burrowed into Jiang Chen's arms. The pure power of the bloodline in her body was transferred to Jiang Chen's body through the skin, suppressing the fire of origin for Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen also hugged Huafu tightly, as if he was hugging a huge ice cube. When the temperature of Huafu's body rose a little, Jiang Chen would instinctively put his hand elsewhere. It didn't take long for Jiang Chen to touch her body. Huafu clenched her teeth and quietly endured the discomfort in her body. Chapter 1779. No one knew how much time had passed. Huaxian had been worried about what was happening in the secret chamber. However, he couldn't go in and take a look. He could only wait anxiously. He kept praying to the ancestors of the Bathing Flame Phoenix tribe to bless Jiang Chen and let him come out safely. During this period of time, he had interrogated Cho Su and Hua Feng several times. However, he didn't get any good news. Stop squatting. You can't go in, and you can't sense the situation inside. You might as well do what you need to do. Hua Quan sat on a small stool and leaned against the door of the secret chamber. He said in a hoarse voice. His purpose here was to prevent anyone from the tribe from suddenly barging in. Of course, the most important thing was to keep an eye on Mu Yuda. I don't want to. I want to wait here. Mu Yuda shook his head. Sigh. The young master is really lucky to have a friend like you. Hua Quan couldn't help but sigh. If the tribe leader was as lucky as Jiang Chen, if Hu Yuanba and Hu Liaoyuan were like Mu Yuda, then the Bathing Flame Phoenix tribe wouldn't be in such a dangerous situation. However, when he thought about it, if nothing had happened, then he wouldn't have been able to get to know the young master. In the blink of an eye, another few days passed. Under Huaxian's leadership, the entire Bathing Flame Phoenix tribe had returned to normal. The tribes that had lost their leaders all elected new leaders. Just as the entire tribe returned to normal, an invisible pressure slowly spread out from the main hall. All the tribesmen who sensed it involuntarily prostrated themselves on the ground. Many of them were puzzled. They could only feel the suppression from the depths of their bloodline from the tribe leader. However, this fluctuation obviously didn't come from the tribe leader. Screech! The phantom of a phoenix rose from the secret chamber and circled above the main hall. When they raised their heads and saw this shocking scene, all the tribesmen widened their eyes. What's going on? Several tribe leaders forced themselves to stand up. In the entire Bathing Flame Phoenix tribe, only the tribesmen with the purest bloodline power could transform into a seven-colored phoenix. However, this aura didn't belong to the tribe leader or Huafu. No, it's not rainbow. As the phoenix circled in the sky, people soon discovered some clues. They discovered that although the phoenix's phantom was 7 different colors, it made the fire barrier even brighter. Furthermore, the tip of every feather seemed to be dyed black by ink. The shadow only lasted for less than a quarter of an hour before it returned to the hall. Phew! When the pressure disappeared, even Huaxian, who was in the palace, let out a long sigh of relief. Fire Xian clan leader, I've come out of the secret room. Jiang Chen walked down the stairs and entered the main hall. The originally gentle young man now had a noble aura around him, as if a king had descended. Not bad. It seems you have succeeded. Hua Xian was overjoyed. He hastily stepped forward to examine Jiang Chen. From Jiang Chen's body, he could sense a very familiar fluctuation. It was the throbbing of his bloodline power. In other words, another branch of the Inferno Phoenix clan had split off from him. Thank you for your guidance, Fire Xian clan leader. Jiang Chen cupped his hands towards him. When he lowered his head, a rainbow light flashed across Jiang Chen's eyes. If one observed Jiang Chen's black pupils carefully, one would find a faint seven-colored radiance hidden in them. Even one's soul would sink into them if one took a look at them. Where's Wufu? Why didn't she come out with you? Hua Xian quickly asked after his excitement subsided. I sent her back to her room to rest. Speaking of this, Jiang Chen became angry. This old thing only said that he would pay a price, but he didn't say what the price was. He was in a dilemma. If he retreated, he would die. He could only move forward. Once he left, Huafu became his woman. Your cultivation should have reached the 9th level of the Heaven Immortal Realm, right? Hua Xian walked around Jiang Chen twice and sighed. Based on your speed, I'm afraid you will reach the Divine Immortal Realm in a short period of time. Jiang Chen, Muyuda rushed in from outside. There was some dust on his clothes, and they were torn. Where did you go? Jiang Chen frowned when he saw that Muyuda looked like he had fought 300 rounds with someone. When you were in the secret room, he was guarding outside. If it wasn't for Hua Quan blocking the door, he would have gone in to check on your condition. Hua Xian couldn't help but laugh. When I came out, why didn't I see you in Elder Hua Quan? Jiang Chen was a little surprised. He remembered that when he opened the door to the secret room, there was no one outside. Cough, cough. Don't mention it. Muyuda sat on a chair and complained. You fused with the power of the Fire Phoenix clan's bloodline. But before you succeeded, that old man Hua Quan. Oh no. Elder Hua Quan sensed that something was wrong and fled without looking back. I was about to push open the door to check on you when I was pushed out by the fluctuations. Huh? Jiang Chen couldn't help but laugh. You brat, don't forget to compensate me with a new set of clothes. Muyuda reached out and patted Jiang Chen's body twice. It could be considered as revenge. No problem. I'll compensate you with 100. Jiang Chen agreed. Jiang Chen, since you have merged with the power of our Flame Phoenix clan's bloodline, you are now considered my son-in-law. I won't call you young master anymore. I'll call you by your name. How about it? Hua Xian asked as he twirled his fingers. I'll feel awkward if you call me young master. Jiang Chen nodded and agreed. With you here, our Flame Phoenix clan can be considered to be the leader of the 6 great spirit beast clans in the southern region. Hua Xian let out a long breath. Jiang Chen held back in time and didn't curse. This Hua Xian didn't have good intentions at all. He used increasing his strength as bait to make him his son-in-law. Now, he was carrying the heavy responsibility of reviving the Flame Phoenix clan. Fortunately, the Flame Phoenix clan already belonged to him and belonged to the Tianji sect. As long as the Tianji sect reappeared in the immortal world, the Flame Phoenix clan would naturally rise with the tide. Otherwise, Jiang Chen really wanted to cut his wrist with a knife and expel all the blood that had merged with the power of the bloodline. Patriarch, may I ask what was the Phoenix Phantom just now? That Phoenix Phantom also merged with light attribute and dark attribute immortal power. Is there a big change in the clan? Outside the hall, several leaders stood at the door, followed by many clansmen. Such a major event had happened in the clan. They had the right to ask clearly and the right to know the truth. It's Jiang Chen. He has absorbed the purest power of our Flame Phoenix clan's bloodline. From now on, he is a clansman of our Flame Phoenix clan and the great elder of the clan. Hua Xian pulled Jiang Chen's arm and walked out of the hall and shouted loudly. Chapter 1780. What? Everyone was stunned when they saw Jiang Chen standing next to Hua Xian. In the ancestral records, it was indeed recorded that there were cases of outsiders fusing with the bloodline power of the Blazing Phoenix clan. However, in the millions of years of the clan's existence, it had only happened 5 times. Moreover, 2 of them had failed. They didn't expect such a legendary thing to happen in front of their eyes. Moreover, the person who succeeded was only a 5th-stage heaven immortal kid. Jiang Chun. Hua Xian turned his head and glanced at Jiang Chun. Jiang Chun nodded. After feeling the strange energy in his body, he directly activated it with his immortal power. Then, Jiang Chun felt a majestic aura quickly sweep out from his body. Behind him, the Phoenix Phantom appeared in front of everyone again. A 7-colored body, a pure white light, and a faintly discernible black color. This let them know that what Jiang Chun displayed was the same as the Phoenix Phantom that hovered in the barrier just now. Moreover, this also let them know that Jiang Chun was indeed a member of the Blazing Phoenix clan. Greetings, Great Elder. Due to the pressure in their bodies, everyone knelt on the ground at the same time and kowtowed to Jiang Chun. Get up, get up. Jiang Chun helplessly raised his hand. From today onwards, you must strictly carry out all of Jiang Chun's orders. His words are equivalent to my words. If anyone disobeys, they will be punished with the most severe punishment according to the clan's rules. Hua Xian ordered in a low voice as he glanced at his clansmen. Although his voice wasn't loud, it still reached the ears of every clansman. Understood. Everyone agreed in unison. Put it away, Hua Xian whispered. Jiang Chun nodded and withdrew the Phoenix Phantom back into his body. The moment it disappeared, the clansmen stood up one after another. However, the way they looked at Jiang Chun changed from the initial gratitude to the current respect and some fear. As the Great Elder, the first thing Jiang Chun did was to bring Mu Yudra into his room. Leave this place with me in 2 days. Jiang Chun closed the door and said, No, I want to take a walk around the immortal realm. When I'm done, I'll look for you. Mu Yud shook his head. He was relieved to see that Jiang Chun was fine. You are currently a disciple of the Flame-Bathing Phoenix tribe, and I am the first elder. If you do not listen to my orders, I will go and ask the Fire Xian tribe leader what kind of punishment should be used to teach you a lesson. Jiang Chun knew that he would say this. He immediately pretended to be dignified and spoke in a deep voice. You win? Mu Yud glanced at Jiang Chun and didn't say anything else. Don't you want to see Nian? Creak, before he finished speaking, the door was pushed open. Hua Fu was wearing a red dress and stood at the door, looking inside. Cough, cough. I remember that there are still some things to take care of. Let's talk about seeing Yin Chang'e after we leave. Mu Yud felt that something was wrong and quickly left. Looking at Hua Fu, Jiang Chun was a bit embarrassed and didn't know what to say. In the past, when he was with her, he treated her as a friend. He even had to call her sister Hua Fu. Now that that kind of relationship had happened, not only did Hua Xian know, even the Flame-Bathing Phoenix tribe members might know. His identity as the son-in-law of the Flame-Bathing Phoenix tribe couldn't be removed. Did you succeed in fusing? Hua Fu walked in and sat beside Jiang Chun awkwardly. She didn't even raise her head and asked in a soft voice. Yes. Jiang Chun nodded and then coughed twice. He said awkwardly, Sister Hua Fu, although we have that kind of relationship, I am still used to your previous personality. I am not used to it when you suddenly softened. Bai Feng Yu is also like this. Why do you like her so much? Hua Fu rolled her eyes and sat up. She asked Jiang Chun, I heard clearly what you did in the room that day. Didn't you like her very much? Jiang Chun was just about to drink some water to relieve himself. Who would have thought that after hearing her words, he would spit it out? How did you know? Jiang Chun's eyes widened. That morning, he only saw Jiang Yuan outside the room. He didn't see Hua Fu at all. I heard half of it and then left. Hua Fu snorted. If you don't believe me, you can ask Jiang Yuan. That day, the 2 of us were waiting for you outside. We heard clearly what you said and what you did. Jiang Yuan also heard it. Jiang Chun was even more shocked. The immortal ape's hearing is the best among the 6 great spirit beasts. How could he not hear it? Hua Fu smiled faintly. She wanted to tease Jiang Chun. Why, you dare to do it, but are embarrassed to admit it. Will you do the same to me in the future? No, no. Jiang Chen waved his hand, but in his heart, he was cursing Jiang Yuan dozens of times. When he heard that the immortal ape clan would block out the sound of the outside world when they were resting, he felt that it made sense. Now it seemed that it was just a perfunctory remark. He really took it seriously. Then what do you mean? You won't recognize me after eating me? Fu turned her head away from Jiang Chen. Of course not. I'm not that kind of person. Jiang Chen hurried to comfort her. Then prove it to me. Fu asked. This? Jiang Chen was in a difficult position. He didn't know what to do. If you don't know, I will teach you. Fu turned around and pressed Jiang Chen onto the bed. Mui had happened to pass by the window. He glanced over and saw Jiang Chen lying on the ground with Fu. He hurried to cover his eyes and walk away, murmuring, "See no evil, hear no evils." Two phoenix phantoms slowly appeared in the air above the room. They embraced each other and used their beaks to comb each other's feathers. In the evening, Xian called Jiang Chen to his room. Jiang Chen pushed the door open and entered. These are the copies of several immortal techniques of our flame-bathing phoenix clan. Take them back and have a look at them. You can use them to release the power of your bloodline completely. Xian stood up and handed 3 scrolls to Jiang Chen. Actually, I don't really need these. Jiang Chen flipped through them and said, I still have a few immortal arts of Emperor Qianji that I haven't studied. I will consider new ones after I study them thoroughly. That's good. Xian was stunned. He then put the immortal arts back on the wooden shelf and said, Emperor Qianji's immortal arts are naturally stronger than ours. It can also unleash the power of your bloodline. Patriarch Xian, I am going back. Jiang Chen sat in front of him. Oh? Is it uncomfortable living in the clan? Xian put down the things in his hand and looked up. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.